whenever I'm high.
What?
Just for the record, my daughter does not get high.
No.
Wow. Everybody came in on the wrong time
Yeah.
now. One. Oh, no.
Yeah. Although she acts high, she doesn't get high.
No, I can assure you she doesn't.
The more tired I am, the higher I get, guys.
Natural high. Being too tired.
Anyways,
we are the Bonsai Movie Crew. Hello.
Maybe she is
None
high.
of us get high. You go ahead and follow us on our TikTok, Twitter, X, and Facebook or whatever. And our YouTube. We have a podcast on YouTube now. We also have a Discord and a lot of other stuff. Pretty much on everything except for that one that we got rid of. Rumble, I think.
Why do you keep bringing it up? It's like a bad ex-girlfriend. Just stop talking about her.
She's just doing the to be continued, catching everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
in case you haven't listened to us in the past,
if you didn't catch the last
2-3 months
episode, then she's just catching everybody up to it.
Yeah,
we're
the
probably
episode.
on episode 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but we're on it.
I don't even call them episodes. I call them pods.
Yeah.
I think that
We're just catching everybody up.
I think we're the only people that call our podcast episodes pods. Just call them pod number or whatever.
No, I think there's a few.
Is there? I've never seen it. I just thought it was.
Seen it?
I think
Right.
it's
You mean her?
maybe No, there's another one because they always say pod number or whatever at the top of it.
I'm just
What
saying,
pod
I've never
number
seen
is
anybody
this?
name it in their in the titles of each episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember.
I know a lot of people will put number this or episode this or whatever. I just
Wait,
put
what
pod
pod
whatever.
are we on?
This is 82.
I think this
Welcome
is 82.
back to pod number 82. This week we are doing... Do I say it now?
I mean, if you want.
Pod number
It's in the
82.
thumbnail.
The Terminator 2.
The Terminator
Hey.
2.
I think it's just Terminator.
It's just Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Okay.
I think the
nerd.
first one was the
The
first
first
one
one is
Terminator or
the
the
Terminator.
Terminator.
The first one was called The Terminator.
Okay, so we just dropped the
Yeah.
in this one. Yeah.
Okay, nerds. Anyway.
Well, that goes with the territory
Shit
for this
straight.
kind of shit.
Anyway, let's.
Alright, shit.
Oh,
It sounded like dipshit.
Yeah, it's like, all right, dipshit. That's exactly what I thought.
Alright,
Shut
guys,
the
let's
fuck
go ahead
up.
and get into our creator profile. Dad, who are we doing this week?
I don't know, dipshit. Who are we doing?
Are we doing the one chick? The
Who?
one that looks like
Whoa.
she's from Look Who's Talking?
Whoa.
She's
Don't
not.
whoa me, I don't know anybody.
She
We've
thinks that
discussed this.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton looks
Linda
like
Hamilton, that's what her
Kirstie
name
Alley.
no, not Kirstie Alley, her friend from
Oh God,
Yeah,
no.
I was
is.
like-
I think she looks like
well
both
with
of
the
them
frizzy
mixed
hair
together.
and everything.
No, God, no.
Yeah, she
Huh?
looks
I was
like
like-
both of them mixed together. Yeah, she does.
But no, we're not doing Linda Hamilton.
Okay.
I was going to, but I was like,
We already did Arnold. What was the other guy's name?
Edward Furlong.
too good of an opportunity. Had to do Edward Furlong.
I knew
Word
it.
for
I mean, how often are we going to actually do it?
Never,
See-
unless we
see.
do Pet Cemetery
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's so good though. It's actually really.
It's not a bad movie. No,
I like
No,
it.
it's not a bad movie.
Edward Furry.
What?
What? More like Edward does a little bit too much coke and heroin. Furlong,
I think he's
Oh.
clean now, though, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think he's been
so.
clean for a few years. He does a lot of
He's trying to
conventions.
clean up his act at least.
He does a lot of conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind meeting him someday.
I wouldn't mind it either. He
Especially coke,
seems
though.
alright. Dude, did you see a picture of him with the girl, whatever Keener or whatever her name is?
Oh.
The girl from Freddy vs. Jason? Dude, she looks rough.
Well, I mean, that's
Like, well,
what
she had
happens.
work done, and I think it was just, it didn't look good. And she was on drugs on
Does
top
it
of that.
ever look good?
No, it never looks good, but like hers was like,
Way out
it
of left
stood
field.
out. Yeah, like her lips and her mouth and stuff, it just looked bad. On top of the drugs she was doing. That, and they were like, she was wearing some like straight up fucking work boots and some like, while wearing some like yoga pants. And she just,
Oh.
they looked like they just rolled out of bed, walked down to like Hothead or something, got themselves a fucking bowl from Hothead. It was like, I was like, man, you guys look harsh. Got up too late partying last night, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Doing
yeah,
that special white stuff.
yeah, yeah. I'll go ahead and
Not
read
talking about
Edward
flour
Furlong
or
if somebody else,
sugar.
because it's decent. If somebody else wants to do the movie,
You know I can. My cough went away. For the most part.
the movie's it's not as it's a little longer than the creator profile, but they're both pretty good long.
Pretty good long.
Yeah.
Pretty good
You
long.
would know.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Burn.
Woo! Yeah.
Why are you guys putting Eric's business out like that?
Hey, I can't help it. My wife enjoys it.
Wait, you're a chick.
Not today.
Oh. You got the pronouns wrong. Get it right.
All right.
What?
Exactly.
What?
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 What did you say?
What do you mean? This is how I normally talk. Talk.
Why you put so much emphasis on the H?
All right.
Whip.
All right. Edward Walter Furlong, born August 2nd, 1977, is an American actor. He won Saturn and MTV Awards for his breakthrough performance at age 13 as John Connor in James Cameron's 1991 science fiction action film Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which was followed by a mini-sequel, short attraction film T2 3D Battle Across Time. In 1992, he gave an Independent Spirit Award. Nominated turn opposite Jeff Bridges in American Heart, and earned a second Saturn Award nomination for his work in Pet Sematary 2. He won a Young Artist Award for his performance alongside Kathy Bates in A Home of Our Own, 1993, and appeared in Before and After, 1996, with Meryl Streep and Liam Neeson. Furlong received acclaim for his starring roles in the 1998 motion picture Pecker.
Excuse me.
That's Pecker with a P. Co-starring Christina Ricci, and American History X, co-starring Edward Norton. He had significant roles in the comedy Detroit Rock City, 1999, and the crime drama Animal Factory in 2000. All right. Early life. Edward Furlong was born August 2nd, 1977, in Glendale, California, the son of Eleanor Torres, a youth center worker, and Heinrich Bruno Wittig. Wow, that's quite the name. Furlong is of Mexican descent. I didn't even know that. I thought he was just like a little darker. Was all. He doesn't look Mexican at all to me.
I didn't.
We're talking about the
I didn't
same
even notice
police
any kind
guy,
of
right? The
darkness
blondie?
about him.
What?
Who are we talking about?
Edward, the kid from the movie. Edward
John.
Furlong, John Connor.
Hold on, racking my brain for what he looks like again.
He looks like,
He just looks like a
Typical
white kid.
white
Like
kid.
this.
yeah, his hair's in front of his
Oh,
face. like
emo boy.
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
much, yeah, pretty much.
He had a bowl cut that was really long.
I actually like this.
That was the
haircut.
style back
It
in
was.
the early
It
90s.
really
though.
was.
Yeah. I can't say I wasn't guilty of having the same
I had a
haircut.
bowl cut.
What?
So.
Well,
You
especially
had
after this
hair.
movie came out, everybody wanted to be John Connor.
Yeah, I love this movie whenever I was a kid.
Mhm.
So, see here. Furlong is of Mexican descent on his mother's side, and also described himself as part Russian.
Dad, I'm so sorry. I love you.
Just shut up and listen, then. Furlong's father died when he was about 3 years old. His mother's sister, Nancy Tafoya, and their half brother, Sean Furlong, obtained custody of him for several years, including 1990 to 1991 when he began his acting career. Initially, the two served as Furlong's managers. All right, career in the 1990s. In 1991, Furlong began his film career as John Connor in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, a role that earned him an MTV Movie Award for Best Breakthrough Role and a Saturn Award for Best Young Actor. He was discovered for the part by casting director Mally Finn, sure, while visiting the Pasadena Boys and Girls Club in September 1990. He followed this role with a string of moderately successful high-profile films and independent films, sharing the screen with Meryl Streep and Liam Neeson in Before and After, 1996. Tim Roth, Maximilian Schell, and Vanessa Redgrave in Little Odessa in 1995. Jeff Bridges in American Heart in 1993. And Anthony Edwards and Clancy Brown in Pet Sematary 2 in 1992. In 1993, he was featured in Aerosmith's music video for Livin' on the Edge. He played the lead role of Michael Brower, a horror and video game obsessed teen sci-fi in the horror film Brain Scan. I remember him in that. I forgot about that. 1984. In 1995, he starred in the film adaptation of Truman Capote's The Grass Harp. Okay. Capote, I guess. Yeah, Capotes, I guess. He reprised his role as John Connor in 1996 theme park ride T2 3D Battle Across Time alongside Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Robert Patrick. In 1998, he starred in American History X alongside Edward Norton and appeared in his first comedy role in Pecker, directed by John Waters. Dude, American History X is a fucked up movie, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Of his title role in Pecker, Furlong stated, it's true, most of the characters that I've played so far are kind of suicidal, really dark roles, which I like, but I wanted to do something different, and John gave me a chance to do that. What's so funny?
I went like this for emo.
Yeah, no shit. In 1998, he starred in the film Detroit Rock City. During filming, he met Natasha Lyonne, whom he then dated. He played a young
He was really funny in that
convict in Steve Buscemi's film Animal Factory. I've never seen Detroit Rock City.
It's pretty. He's really funny. In
I
that
heard
movie.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah. One of the moms smokes cigarettes so much that like she's got all these ashtrays that are just filled up, and like she'll like light one, take a puff, and like put it out, and then like light another one, take a puff, and put it out. It's hilarious.
Can't do that nowadays. You'd have to be a millionaire to
No
do that.
shit.
2000s. Furlong's career and stardom declined considerably after 2000, with most of his subsequent films being released straight to DVD. This is where his story gets pretty shitty.
Yeah.
In 2001, he took a role in I Cavalieri Che Faciro. I can't remember. AKA, here's it in English: The Knights of the Quest. A little scene film by Italian filmmaker Pupi.
Your first reaction was to say poopy.
It's Pupi.
Papai, Dad.
Is it Papai? Or is it Poopy?
It's Pew.
It's
It's
Pupi.
Rebel. It's Pew Pie.
It's Pupi.
Pew Pie.
That doesn't sound like Pew Pie. Poopy.
Pupa.
Poopy.
Cupid. Pupa.
Poopy.
Pupae.
Pepe.
Cupid.
Pepe.
It's French.
Dress it up
Cupid.
any way you want. It's still poopy.
You
Dad.
can polish the turd all you want. It's still shit.
Dad. Yeah, see? It's French. It's Cupid.
That's Italian.
Yeah, that was Italian.
Right, Eric?
No one has. It's like Dear Day.
I don't even care what you say. By Italian filmmaker
It's Dear
Poopy,
Day.
Poopy Avati.
It's amazing how like childish like our hearts are. 'Cause poopy. We're a good like 5 minutes and we're just laughing about poopy.
Poopy. Furlong was expected to play John Connor again in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines in 2003. However, Nick Stahl was cast just before filming began. He later elaborated that have had a deal to reprise his role and was removed after the producers discovered his drug addiction.
Put that cookie down!
Yeah. In 2004...
Where's your ticket back, buddy?
Yeah. In 2004, he appeared in a music video for Metallica's The Unnamed Feeling. and played Jimmy in the low-budget independent film Jimmy and Judy in 2004, during which time he met Rachel Bella. The two became romantically involved and later married. He played the lead in the Crow series' fourth film, The Crow Wicked Prayer, 2005, alongside David Boreanaz, sure, and Tara Reid, which was planned
What's
for a
this guy's
theatrical
name again?
release.
Edward Furlong.
Planned for planned for a theatrical release, but upon release was widely panned by critics and audiences and was released to DVD after 1 week in limited theaters. He appeared in Night of the Demons in 2009, the 2009 remake of the 1988 horror classic, which was shot in New Orleans and released straight to DVD. In 2006, in 2006 and again in 2010, he appeared in 5 episodes of television program CSI New York as Shane Casey. 2010s. Furlong appeared in 2
Me tomorrow.
He don't look that bad anymore.
He doesn't look that bad anymore.
That's definitely like someone taking like advantage of like, I got Edward Furlong in the chair at the dentist and look at this fucking grill.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's gonna be me tomorrow.
No. Stop interrupting me. I'm trying to... All right. So Furlong appeared in 2 scenes of Seth Rogen's film The Green Hornet in 2011. Next, he starred in This Is Not a Movie, an English-language Mexican film written and directed by Olalo Rubio, sure, and co-starring Peter Coyote, sure, and Eddie... whatever. These fucking names are retarded.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. He was featured as Fixer in the crowdfunded pilot Star Trek Renegades.
Just start calling them Anchetti.
In 2019, James Cameron confirmed that Furlong would be returning to reprise his role of John Connor. It was later reported that his facial likeness would be used via CGI in Terminator Dark Fate in 2019, with Jude Cawley as a CGI stand-in, and he was involved in 1 day of filming for a facial capture performance as John Connor was killed off in the opening scene.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, in Dark Fate.
I didn't see his likeness at all in Dark Fate.
I never saw Dark Fate.
Yeah, they CGI'd his face over some kid's face, and
yeah, I didn't see it.
I saw it, definitely.
Couldn't tell.
I could. Definitely. Yep.
Well, thanks for the spoilers.
Whoa.
Well, you get really sad. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
He dies.
In 2023, Furlong was slated to star in the movie Forest Hills alongside Shelley Duvall and Dee Wallace, as well as Charlie's House. Other work. In October 1992, Furlong released an album in Japan called Hold On Tight with a cover of People Are Strange by The Doors. What a weird... Let's go to Japan and release an album of this cover from a band from America. That's so weird.
What? That's too complicated.
I mean...
Wherever the drugs take you, man.
Hasselhoff was huge in Germany when he was doing music.
It's because he looks German.
Maybe or I don't know. I
Whatever.
can't explain the music market in other countries.
I can't explain some people and how they end up in the places they end up in.
Yeah.
So, personal life.
Places.
When Furlong was 13, he began... This is kind of messed up. He began a relationship with his stand-in and tutor, 26-year-old Jacqueline Domac. He was 13 and she was 23. Or 26, sorry. She was 13 years older than him. And an adult. And she was banging a 13-year-old.
On purpose?
What?
Yes. This is right after he had starred in... Right as he was going into...
His stardom.
Yeah, like right after he starred in Terminator 2.
He looked like a baby.
Yeah. Well, listen to this. They eventually began living together. When California's statutory rape law changed in 1984 to allow the prosecution of adult of adult women who have sex with minors. His uncle Sean Furlong filed a complaint against Dumock, alleging rape, but was unsuccessful in having Dumock prosecuted. In May of 1999, Dumock sued Edward Furlong for domestic violence and for 15% of everything he had made in his previous years, including his pay for Pecker and American History X, which she claimed that she was owed because had worked for Furlong as his manager. So you're telling me his 13-year-old ass was beating the fuck out of a 26-year-old woman?
I have a question.
There's a lot of
You're
questions.
the adult. Leave. What the fuck?
She's like, no, 13-year-old boy, don't hit me.
That's so weird because that's like I don't know. That'd be like you getting beat up by your 15-year-old son, 16-year-old son. Like, no, you're gonna smack the shit out of it. What the fuck are you doing?
Are you kidding me? I'll grab a fucking chair if I have
Yeah.
to whoop some ass.
It's
Like, there's
so
no fucking
weird
way.
It's just
Well, it's not exactly the same thing though, because I'm not gonna bang my kid or a kid.
Oh, that's...
yeah, right. I get
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
but
Like that's
Like,
it's
if he
that,
hit you.
that is disgusting. Like, who looks at a 13-year-old and goes, "Yeah, I'd bang that." Like
Yeah.
that.
That's it on his face.
Like, that's disgusting. Like, there's something seriously.
I don't know.
That's the
man.
thing. Okay, like if you're a young kid, just hear me out. There's
She took-
something
she
wrong
took-
with an adult if they find you attractive.
She took advantage of him to get his money.
I mean,
Literally what it was.
for sure. But at the same time,
There's something wrong with an
She's- I
adult.
mean,
and I can't
who
believe
can find a
severely
child
I
fucked
can't
up.
believe that
attractive,
California didn't enact that law until '94.
right?
Like, you're telling me like this is just now a
Well,
new
no,
law for
that's
them?
well, that's always been a little backwards when it comes to women, right? Because it's gross if a guy does it,
Yeah.
but it's hot if a woman does it. So it's always been backwards. I mean, I'm surprised it is a law,
True, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's fucked up.
or I'm surprised that it has to be a separate law. Like, why do we have separate?
Why is it, yeah, why is it a
Yeah.
separate law?
Why didn't we just go, hey, how
If
about
you're
no
this
adults
age-
fuck
yeah,
kids?
Yeah, no adults do kids at all. Like
Done.
Not.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we got
Guys ready for lunch?
Like no, whenever they made the law in the first, like no, it's just for the men. The women are okay though.
Right?
you know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying. Like,
So dumb.
The guy that made the law had a crush on his teacher. That's what it was.
Yeah, definitely. Like, hold on now.
No,
Wait a
We're
second.
depriving a lot of
Yeah,
15,
Miss
16-year-old boys.
Wilkinson's back in 8th grade. Now, I know
Well,
how these boys feel,
That's what I'm
alright?
saying. Like that. Like the guy who made that law was looking out for every 15 and 16-year-old boy in high
You
school.
remember
Like,
how
Just
he
to give him
felt.
the chance.
yeah, like he might have a chance. That's so fucking weird.
And apparently he did, because he got sued, so...
All right,
fucked
Furlong
up.
married Rachel Bella on April 19, 2006. The couple's son was born in September 2006. On July 8th, 2009, she filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Later in 2009, she sought to dissolve the restraining order she had filed so that he could visit their child. In 2012, Bella alleged in court documents that their 6-year-old son had tested positive for cocaine,
Huh.
which led a judge to rule Furlong's visits had to be supervised.
Which technically that could have come from either one of them.
Yeah.
If you know
Well,
about
if she's
her
the one
past, too.
filing it, why would it come from her?
Well, to get him in trouble.
Maybe, but she's also the one who had the whole thing overturned so that he could actually have visitation.
At the beginning, but he probably
Yeah.
did something to piss her off.
Maybe,
So
but
she's
They're,
like, "Here,
yeah,
kid."
they're kind of volatile.
maybe, but like, let's face it, Edward Furlong's not exactly.
I'm not saying.
You know what I mean?
I'm not. I'm
Like,
saying they're both.
Yeah.
Not.
All
Great in
right.
that department.
Substance abuse and legal problems. We're not even there yet. I thought we were.
I was going to say, wait. Didn't we just hear about some cocaine
Yeah.
on a 2-year or 6-year
Yeah.
6-year-old?
Furlong has battled alcoholism and drug addiction throughout his career. He first went into rehab in October 2000. In 2006, Furlong stated he was on and off hard drugs from ages 22 to 26 and added that I was a heroin and cocaine addict. It was really scary. And I don't even think about partying anymore. It seems lonely now, running and clubbing and doing coke. I have nightmares about doing hard drugs. I'll wake up and I'm like, Did I relapse? This was 2006. That's bullshit because he's done drugs farther than... Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there. In September 2009, Bella filed a restraining order against Furlong after he allegedly punched her in a drug-fueled altercation. In 2010, he received 3 years of probation for violation of the civil protective order obtained by Bella. In October 2012, Furlong was arrested and charged with felony domestic violence against his girlfriend, Monica Kina. This is the girl that I was talking about. In November 2012, he was arrested for allegedly assaulting Kina. I mean, with a face
Wait,
like
maybe
that.
that's the girl I'm thinking of that had the drug problem. I don't remember. Maybe it was her.
I know that she was the girl. That's the girl from Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
And I know that she did have a drug problem alongside him.
I don't know. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, no shit. In March 2013, he was sentenced to 180 days in jail for violation of probation after he used force against his ex-girlfriend and for violation of a protection order prohibiting approach and contact with Kina. He was arrested again in May 2013 for assaulting his girlfriend and avoiding a further prison sentence after agreeing to 5 years probation, 90 days rehab for drug addiction, and 1 year of domestic violence counseling. He had served 61 days in jail. Rehabilitation and
You know what?
reconciliation.
Looking at him as a kid, he does look like a woman beater.
I don't see that at all.
I didn't see that at all either.
I do.
After his arrest in
It's the
2013...
hair.
He was
the
the
hair?
savior of mankind. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not doing a great job if he's beating women.
How dare you?
After his arrest in 2013, Furlong committed to rehabilitation. In February 2021, he reunited with the American History X co-star Ethan Suplee on Supley's podcast American Glutton.
I heard some of that.
To discuss Furlong's recovery from drug addiction and compulsive eating. At the time of publication, he was 3 years sober from alcohol and illegal drugs. Speaking on his initial hesitancy to maintain sobriety, he said, "I genuinely was afraid of facing what I would be without all that because I carried all that as who I was."
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Cop out, whatever. You just own up. You were a drug addict and you needed to get off of it. But I know that...
well, some people do wrap their personalities up in their addictions.
Oh, for sure. So, I don't know. I'm glad that he's off the drugs now. As far as I know, he's still off of drugs. Which is good because, let's face it, dude, drugs in Hollywood aren't cool anymore. It's not cool anymore. It's not the 80s or 90s anymore. It's just not cool.
If only they would understand not to do the plastic surgery too. It's just
that's
about,
the new
drug.
That's the new drug.
Yeah.
That's the new issue now.
Which I don't understand because looking at everyone, you're like, oh yeah, that's not gonna.
That's
go
a good look.
if I go and do
Right.
that.
There's a lot of people in Hollywood that go get that work done. You're like, there was nothing wrong with you before.
I know.
it's like
Right.
how
You know.
Adam Sandler made fun of it in one of his movies. But that would one dude that keeps getting plastic surgery, and he's like, do you have any feeling in your face?
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
like, yeah, just this one spot right here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I think the one right now in the news that's getting a lot of heat is that oh shit, what's her name? Something Moriarty. She plays Starlight on The Boys, and she's getting a bunch of heat right now because people are one lady came out and said that she had went and got work done, didn't understand why, and put her on full blast, and she's like all upset about it, and because they posted this picture of her from before and after, and she's like, I did not have work done. It's like, bitch, you definitely had work done. She's like, I had contour on and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, dude, look at your cheekbones and look at your lips, and your nose is the size of a pencil.
Yeah.
Like, and you looked at her from before, you're like, there's no way. That's just like night and day difference. Like,
see, that's why I like Goldie so much. Like, cause she's just like, yeah,
I mean,
do it.
At least own up to
That's
it.
what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
She's like, yeah, I do it.
Yeah, at least own up to it. It's your body. Do whatever you want, but don't fucking lie to people about
Yeah.
it. Just own up to it. Like, yeah, I did it. You know, yeah.
She
I
said-
thought this needed done. You know.
Well, she says all the time, "This is just who I am. It's what I like to look like."
Right.
So I maintain it.
Whatever though. There's a lot of people, and this is why I said that like Sandra Bullock don't look the same anymore because of all the work she's had done. Same as there's a bunch of them like that. I mean, it's not just her. It's also Nicole Kidman don't look the same because
No,
of that
God,
reason.
no, she doesn't.
So there's a lot of them in Hollywood. Even men do it. I mean, hell, look at fucking Zac Efron, dude. He could sit here and say all day that he didn't have any work done. He's a fucking liar too. He's a liar. His mouth looks weird. It's all big.
Mouth looks weird.
It's
So
weird.
the dude that plays in Star Trek.
Huh?
The dude that plays in Star Trek too. The new Star Trek.
Chris Pine.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
I haven't seen him recently. I'm
So
thinking of
He
the main
does-
guy.
With him, he does kind of look like he's had some
He's
like
had work
like
done.
lip injections or something
Yeah.
put in. Like his face don't look as like mobile as it used to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, the good thing about that though is if it was just lip injections, it doesn't last forever.
Right. But it makes his face like the way whenever he talks, he barely moves his lips. It's like he's just
He could have done that for a role though too, because sometimes what was that one movie that they did? That one chick directed it, and it had all kinds of people in it at the time, and there was all this controversy around it because Shia LaBeouf was going to be in it, and then you know what I'm talking about. God, what was her name?
Are you talking about like recently?
It was like
A couple years
a
ago?
couple years ago.
You're talking about Honey Boy? Was it a
Maybe.
movie that he directed?
No, it was a girl that directed it, and I cannot remember her name.
Oh, you're talking about
The
Don't
one
Worry,
that had
Darling. I think it was
Yes.
called Don't Worry, Darling.
Yes.
And they replaced him with Henry Styles.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. So he was in that, and I think he had
Huh?
lip
Harry
injections.
Styles?
Is that what I said? Henry, didn't I? Yeah,
Mhm.
Harry
Yeah,
Styles.
Harry. Yeah, but it was he was in that, and I know he had lip injections for that role because they wanted his lips to be plumper.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah. He didn't get along
I
with,
don't know. I mean, I don't.
he
I
got
haven't
on
seen him
set and
recently.
didn't get along with Olivia Wilde is the problem.
Yeah,
Something
that's
something
her.
went
That's
down,
her. She's
something
the-
went down between the
Yeah.
two of them.
She
and,
was the director of that,
and he
so
was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, you're not doing this the way like she didn't like his methods." And
Mhm.
and he told her pretty much your whole project's a joke. And I believe it because I heard that the whole project was a mess. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I knew he did lip injections for that role. So I don't know.
who did?
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. Okay.
Yeah.
He might have. Anyway, let's move on. Favorite Edward Furlong movie? Go.
American History X.
American History X.
Yeah, definitely American History X.
Terminator 2.
It's probably the only one you've seen. For me,
Or Pet Cemetery too.
I'm gonna go with Terminator 2. Like, I love American History X, and he does awesome in that movie. But yeah, you can't hold a candle to Terminator 2 with American History X. Like, it's definitely more of a serious, drama, and it's a good fucking movie though. But let's face it, he doesn't steal the show in that one.
No,
Edward Norton definitely does.
I'm just going by the movie I like better. That's all.
Right. Okay.
That's all.
That's fine. Anyway, let's move on here to what everybody's been watching.
What the hell have you been watching?
I sang it.
I heard. I think everyone did.
Do. All right. Let's start with Eric. What you been watching, man?
Not much. Let's see. Watched a little bit of shit. What the fuck was it? I was just watching it. Logan.
The movie?
Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that.
Excellent movie.
Yeah. I haven't got the chance to really sit down and watch the full thing yet. But
That's one of the movies that you're like, it's something you weren't. I think the thing that people loved about that movie was you had all the X-Men movies that came out before, and they weren't violent or anything
Yeah.
like that. But then they come out with Logan, which is like this far grittier movie starring the same people.
more
that
of a
were
serious.
that were in the X-Men movies, and he's just straight sticking his claws through people's faces.
Mhm.
Like,
Totally
full
different
gore,
tone.
And then
very
you-
different tone.
And then you got that little girl that's doing this like.
Oh yeah,
just
she was a little
going
badass,
ham.
dude, and that movie was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Whenever it came out, I was like, another X-Men movie. I was like,
But
it's
his-
rated R. I was like, that'll be interesting. Then I watched, like, that movie was fucking sweet.
Right.
That movie was awesome. That movie was awesome.
So I mean, honestly, that's about all I've gotten a chance to watch because I've been dealing with Dad's camper and all that stuff. So yeah,
Right,
that's it for me.
right. Karen,
Some episodes of Family Guy, Repossessed, movie called Chop, and a movie called Pandemonium. That's it.
okay, Madison.
Well, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I watched not much else. I watched Desolation and Smog today during study hall.
The whole thing.
No, but I watched the other half of it during lunch. So, and then the rest of it in my car after school. So.
Surprised the nerds ain't walking by you at school like, oh my god, she's so hot. She's watching Desolation of Smog, guys.
I don't think there's a lot of kids like that in my school. They all sag their pants and walk around like they're a bunch of little thugs.
There's no nerds
so-
left, man. Where's all the nerds at? The next generation
It's
of
not
nerds
cool.
is dead, man.
Yeah.
It used
I
to be.
am the next generation.
Well,
of
see, that was the
nerds.
thing. It wasn't cool when I was in school, and then it became cool to be a nerd,
I know.
And then
we
it stopped
missed it,
being
dude.
cool.
We missed the good shit.
right?
That's the sad part is, like, whenever we were in school, nerds weren't cool. We were the fucking losers.
Yeah,
We were the guys, like, the ones who played D&D on the weekends. We weren't cool. We were getting made fun of and picked on. Whereas, like, now it's cool to play D&D and cool to, like, play video games and all these things. It's like, hold on a fucking minute here. We pioneered that shit. Shouldn't we be, like, kings? Or something, you know what I mean? Like, where's our just dues, you know?
we're the OGs.
Yeah.
You want to go back to high school? Is
No,
that
I don't
what
want to
you're
go back to high school. I just want a little bit of fucking respect.
Put some respect on that
Fucking
name.
respect.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure I am the next generation of nerds.
Lucky you.
So I'm pretty sure we just all hide.
No, I mean we always did.
No, dude, we were out there playing hacky sack.
Well, yeah, that was the shit back in the day. I'll probably break a hip trying to do it now.
I might too, yeah. I don't even know if I can get my foot up past my belly now.
I think that's all I really watched.
Be
I
like
haven't
Colonel
watched
Sanders from
anything else.
Waterboy.
Come talk to me whenever you kick yourself in the nuts, boy.
I've been
Yeah.
reading again. I've been reading The Lord of the Rings. Just got to the council meeting with Elrond, the Council of Elrond. So there's that.
Sweet.
Viddy Kadivi.
I didn't watch much this week either. I watched Resident Alien, episode of Resident Alien, probably a couple
I did
episodes since last week. We watched the Super Mario Brothers movie during the tornado because we were down here in the basement. So we were like, well.
Actually, I
Why
did
not?
watch that too. I watched that over the weekend.
And then we watched. We finished up Avatar: The Last Airbender. We watched the last episode of that.
They did, not me.
Yeah. That show was actually the last episode
Yeah,
was really
it was
good.
pretty good.
I was like, it was a fun show. I didn't think it was gonna be. It's still not. I don't think it's as good as One Piece because
No.
One Piece is fun all the way through. Like it's a fun show to watch.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Last Airbender is fun, but like it's too
Well, I mean,
gushy,
even
goody,
with
goody.
yeah, even with the cartoon, it was always
Yeah.
it was the same way.
Yeah, I know. You
You know what I mean? You had your
Whereas
good
One Piece is a
episodes,
little
and you
more
had some of
fun.
your.
It's not adult, I wouldn't say, but it's still more hammered towards like teenagers, I guess.
I've
yeah.
never watched the cartoon, the anime of it.
I never did either, but like the show itself, I'm saying is like
yeah.
so. But I like One Piece more. But I like both the shows. I think that Netflix is doing something right with their anime stuff. So
Yeah.
finally somebody's doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Because they tried before.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they've tried a couple times before, and finally I think they started listening. To
Yeah, I
fans,
mean, hell,
like-
you had the Dragon Ball movie, and then you had the Avatar movie.
I
came
think
out.
doing a
It's-
Dragon Ball like series would be really complicated and
Yeah.
hard. But
Well,
if they did it right, I think it'd be pretty badass.
yeah,
I
I know. I've seen fan made like stuff like that. It actually looks pretty good compared to the
Oh yeah, I've
movie.
seen some pretty good fan stuff. What else did I watch? I think that's all I watched this week, really. Oh no, I did check out an episode of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's a series on
I've heard of it.
Amazon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We watched an episode of that, and it's one of them shows that like I was expecting a little more action, but I didn't get it. But it was okay that I didn't get a lot of action because the show itself, I think, is trying to build a bit more of a kind of dark, humorous story. And it's not the same story as the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. These two are spies, and they know that they're spies, and they're placed together as husband and wife. It's pretty wild, though. Like, the first episode is all about their first mission and them coming together in this house and all this and that. And it was really, really interesting to watch the episode go on, because they have to, like, wait for this package, find this woman and wait for her to get a package and then intercept the package from her. So, and then they get the package, and I don't know if you guys are going to be watching it or
probably
anything.
won't.
You probably won't.
Probably
But I'm
won't.
just going to give it away then. So what happens is they like,
Wait,
spoiler
I want to
alert.
watch it.
No, you don't. So spoiler alert for anybody.
Hold on.
Earmuffs. So they get the package and they go through all this stuff. Like, it's super, like, they're like, the whole time you're learning a little bit more about each of them. And they intercept the package and they're like, oh my God, we got the package. And then they have to deliver it. So they deliver it. And while they're standing there, they're like watching them open this metal box.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
It's good timing. Really good timing. So they open the box, come to find out it's just a cake.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was also a Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full circle. So they find out it's just a cake. And they're like, they walk out the door and they're like really pissed off about it. And she's like, that better be one tasty fucking cake. You know what I mean? And as they're walking away,
They use them as like free delivery people.
yeah, well, as they're walking away, the whole house blows up.
Oh.
So it was an assassination, and they delivered essentially the bomb. So I was like, so it kind of it was funny because like it made the whole episode worth it, because
Yeah.
you're like, a fucking cake, and then boom, you're like, holy shit. So like, because the whole episode is like super chill and this and that, and then I don't know, it's pretty wild. It was really good so far. I'm gonna watch
Thanks
more
for
of it.
spoiling it.
So I'm gonna watch it. And it's got Donald Glover in it.
It's a bomb cake.
So it's
a lot.
it's produced and all that, and was created by Donald Glover, and he
Oh.
also stars in it too. So
Well,
like
I
Donald
might change
Glover.
my mind then. I like Donald.
I like
Glover.
Donald
He's
Glover.
really
I think
funny.
he's what they call a triple threat, because he's a great actor, a great comedian, and a great musician.
Mhm.
So yeah. Anyway, that's all we watched this week. So I say we. Whenever I say we, I mean like me and my wife.
Is someone throwing it? It's the
This
funniest
cat has
thing.
to be dealt with.
It's one of the funniest scenes ever.
All right. Let's move on here. Let's get into our movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
This week we watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991 or 1.
91.
I don't want to say one thing. Something doesn't add up about what year does this movie take place in?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 10 years later, but the first one was 84, so we're only 7 years later. And he was 13.
Yeah, which doesn't make so a lot of the
So-
timeline doesn't
But
make any sense.
you know what? It doesn't matter because it's a time travel movie.
Okay.
So you know what?
Exactly.
Because guess what? John Connor's dad hasn't even been born yet.
Right.
How's that for a mind fuck?
Right.
Yeah,
That's all much-
Karen
it's-
gets it.
The timeline doesn't have to matter.
Yeah.
It is a fucked up timeline.
Okay,
So
Charlie.
right as
Could you imagine if like
Yeah.
could you imagine if like John Connor later on went on to have a kid? Turns out his kid was Reese.
Oh,
Whoa.
That's the same tree in
Yeah.
a circle.
Exactly.
That's disgusting.
It's a circle.
That's
But like, because
weird.
so Reese would have went back in time and banged his grandma.
Does it make him his own grandpa?
Yeah.
Are we back to that again?
Yes, he makes his own. It makes him his own grandpa.
well, did that one even work?
Why wouldn't it?
Because he can't have his own sperm.
Why can't he?
Because that's not how things
No,
work.
not his own
Sperm is
sperm.
just a genetic.
Yeah, not his
code.
own. He would be carrying John Connor in his gulch, in his bag, and so he would transfer the John Connor sperm to his mom. His mom would have John Connor. John Connor would grow up, have a child, being Reese. Reese goes back in time,
But you
bangs
can't-
his grandma. Bam, John Connor again.
Because his
Full circle.
dad can't have him and then him
Makes me
have
think of-
that sperm. That's not
Why not?
how that works.
How do you know?
You
So you're
seem
gonna sit here and
hilarious.
tell me how time travel works?
It's a
Yes.
circle.
You're trying to do the same thing to me.
I knew what you were talking about.
No, that's
yes.
not. Okay, you're overcomplicating.
You're
it.
overcomplicating it.
No, you're undercomplicating it.
I'm
No.
undercomplicating it.
I feel
Suck
like somewhere in there you're
killing
gonna
me,
have
Smalls.
it.
you're gonna have one of those like I don't know 12-toed babies or something like. There's
Not
just
really.
too, there's
I mean-
too many of the same genes happening.
How
too
many
close
times?
together.
How many times the time
Got
travel
all
happens?
ears and
Eventually, we're going to come
4
down to a John
eyes.
Connor coming out. Yeah,
Could you imagine it though? If, like John Connor just went
10
into the
fingers on
future.
one hand. All right.
Like John Connor in the future had a child and said, "I'm going to name him after my dad, Reese." And then Reese is born, and then you know what I mean. I'm just saying.
But Reese was his last name.
Well, there
But the
was
most fucked up part about it is the only person that would actually know.
His name was Kyle Reese.
Well, whatever, Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
So imagine if eventually, like in the future, he's like he knew, like, and he wanted that to happen.
Well, see, the funny
I'm
thing
going to
is,
ensure my creation and have my son and name him Kyle Reese and then send him back to the past to keep me safe.
I mean, I'm not a geneticist.
I mean,
I'm
you
just-
don't know. I mean,
You're right,
John
I
Connor
don't.
might be a fucked up dude.
You're right. I don't know, but I'm no geneticist. But I feel like there's too many of the same genes happening way too close together.
I mean, not technically if you think about it, because they're like, yeah, they do that, but they're going back in time and they're just recreating.
He's trying to
every
convince-
time you do this, I'm thinking of Chuck and Larry. It's a circle.
Circle.
I think you're just trying to convince yourself now.
But I'm pretty sure
No,
like,
I mean-
genes have to go away from each other so that you don't get this. Like it's
Just saying.
not in a circle.
It's a possibility, man.
Not a
Just
circle.
pretend that Terminator Salvation didn't exist. Okay?
Terminator 3.
Actually, fun
Terminator-
fact: these two are the only two that are canon, according to
Well, yeah.
all. Like these two are the only two that are canon.
I don't care what everybody
Everything-
says.
No, like this is Cameron and all of them talking about it. So these two are the only two that are Cameron.
They said that
canon.
because they want Dark Fate to be canon, and that movie is garbage.
No, none of
No.
them are canon
Dark
beyond
Fate's not
this
even
one
canon.
because
Good. Does that mean we can stop?
They could have
watching them?
stopped. They could have
Yeah, I'm
stopped
fine with
after
that.
Terminator
But listen,
2.
so beyond these two, the rest of them are non-canon, and that goes forever because when the end of this one happened, what she said about the future being uncertain, that means that anything after this is any one of a possible future,
Well, good, because I like to think that nothing happened after this one, and this
This is
it.
wrong.
This is
and
the
that
last
everybody
one.
just lived happily ever after.
everybody
I
just lived
agree.
happily ever after.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Yes.
Well,
Guys.
Terminator 3, it was John Connor. The Terminator comes back and is like, I have to protect you because you're going to have a future child with
Well,
such and such.
yeah, I have to protect you and your generals, blah blah blah, and the whole robot apocalypse was inevitable. So,
Well, he say I had to protect you and what's her name?
the Claire Danes.
Yeah,
character,
he's like, because your guys are going to have this baby and
yeah.
such and such.
Anyway, let's get
It's
into
Kyle
the
Reese.
plot synopsis here and go from there, and then we'll talk about recommendations.
Set 10 years after the events of the original, James Cameron's classic sci-fi action flick
Bullshit.
tells the
He's
story
not 10 years old.
of a second
10 years,
attempt.
he'd been 3 then.
What?
You'd have been 7 because no, he would
No,
have
he
been
would
born
have been 10.
5. No, because
If
the movie took
this
place
was-
in 84, so he would have been born sometime in 85.
If this was 10 years later, he would only been 10 in the movie, not a teenager
right, no, what I'm saying is that it was made in 91 though.
or 9.
So he would have been 6 actually, if we're going by linear.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
it says it was 10 years
Right.
later.
But
then they also say-
Technically,
Well,
he
no,
would
that's
only,
what I said at
Yeah.
the beginning.
He'd only been 9. if this was been 10 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying at the beginning. Remember when I said that the timeline doesn't matter because
No,
it's a
it
time
can't
travel
matter,
movie.
obviously, because
yeah, because he's definitely 13. But anyway, Flick tells the story of a second attempt to get rid of rebellion leader John Connor, this time targeting the boy himself. However, the rebellion has sent a reprogrammed Terminator to protect Connor.
alrighty. Let's get into our recommends. Eric, would you
Yes
watch and
and yes.
recommend? Yes and yes. Karen?
Yes and yes.
Madison?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
Why are you all manly about it?
Yeah, and definitely a yes and a yes for me. If you haven't seen Terminator 2, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah.
In the alternate timeline, one of the many
You
of them.
shut your mouth.
Coming from the person that this is their first
Well,
time
yeah,
ever
that's the
seeing
way
it.
there's-
Hey, but I've seen it, so now I can say that.
She's
Yeah.
part of the cool kids club now.
Yeah.
I know Ada watched it with us too last night, and she's like, we were like, did you watch the first one? She's like, yeah. She's like, this is the one, like, which one is this? This takes place in the mall, right? And
The
I'm like, or the
airport.
airport. I'm like, Die
Yeah.
Hard?
I said Ada, that's
I was like, that's Die Hard, man. She's like, oh.
Oh.
And then she had to, like, a few minutes later, she's like, so maybe I didn't watch the first one. I was like, maybe you didn't.
He said the one in the mall where they go to the airport.
hmm
Are you talking about Die Hard?
Yeah.
I think so.
There was no mall either.
Or she could just
either of them.
combine movies at that point. Like,
There was no mall either. So
that's what I was going to say. She's combining movies
Yeah.
at that point. Like,
yeah, there was an airport in the second one. There was no mall in either of them, though.
technically, there was a mall in this one, so maybe she'd seen this one at
It's
some
true.
point.
Yeah, there was a
And
mall
she
in
was
this one at
connecting
the beginning.
the mall
Yeah.
and Die Hard.
Yep.
They're both action movies.
I don't think
Uh,
she's seen this one,
The beginning of this movie always reminds me of the beginning of Kindergarten Cop too, because it's kind of the same opening with him walking through like a badass. Only
Mhm.
in Kindergarten Cop he's got a beard,
Yeah.
and I'm just like Kindergarten Cop 2, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It always like those two movies. Kind of the beginnings of those always mesh together for me.
I have a question for like when he picked up the Gatling gun. We'll get there when we.
Oh, okay. I
when
thought you were gonna
we-
ask it now. I was like,
Well, see, you bring up Kindergarten Cop, and I always think of the part at the end when they pick him up after, they put the T-1000 in the lava or whatever, and he says, "I need a vacation." Isn't that the same thing he says at the end of Kindergarten?
he does
Kindergarten
too.
Cop?
He sits down. He's like, I need the vacation.
Yeah, like, so every time I watch this movie, I think of the end of Kindergarten Cop, because I'm like, huh, that's the same
Apparently,
thing
he just
said.
really needs a vacation.
Yeah.
Predator was made before this one, right?
Oh yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, no, it is. It is. It's a callback.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
What is?
Him holding the
The Gatling. gun.
Gatling
Oh,
gun.
the Gatling gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When,
because of Jesse Ventura
when he
and
first
stuff.
picks it up, he
Yeah.
gives that
You know, a little
smile.
smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, maybe that's the same Gatling gun from Predator.
I don't know if it's the same Gatling gun, but I'm sure
I
it's a
don't know
callback.
I don't know if it is or not either, and I went through a lot of trivia, so I feel like if it was, it would have been in there. But I do know that it was a callback.
I think your eye twitched whenever you said that.
You're like,
Dude, there was
he
like
Popeyed that shit.
there was like 5 billion.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of
I mean,
trivia for this
it's a
movie.
lot.
All right, let's get into our plot synopsis here so we can keep moving.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The year is
Bruh.
1995, 11.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Done.
Oh shit, I meant Miss Scoozy.
Are you happy or are you gonna fuck me up?
Still the wrong one.
I didn't click it. He did. Sorry.
No, that's right.
Miss Scusi.
Uh-huh. The year is 1995, 11 years after Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese destroyed the original Terminator that was programmed to kill Sarah. 2 men in Los Angeles in the year 2029. Okay. That's a sentence. 2 men... Oh, arrive. I got this, guys. 2 men
Oh, hey,
arrive.
hold on.
in-
Who watched the extended cut and who watched the theatrical?
I watched the 2 hours and 31 minutes. I think that's just theatrical though.
Something like that.
2 hours and 31 minutes? Is that what you...
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so-
it was
Okay.
130 minutes. or
Yeah,
something
and then
like
the
that.
other one would have been about 15 minutes longer, I think. The unrated cut,
It was like 20 minutes
which is like the
longer.
director's cut or something. Which I
Yeah.
think that one,
yeah,
that
we
one
did
does.
not. We did not watch. That
I didn't watch
one.
that one either because I have both of them, and I was like, I'm gonna watch the theatrical because it's not near as long. But the only thing you're missing from the director's cut is a little bit more time in, I believe, in Mexico, and I believe it also shows more of that nuclear explosion scene. I'm pretty sure it shows more of that.
Which you don't really need.
No, and then it shows something else, I think. I'm not really sure. Because I think I've seen the director's cut before, or the unrated cut, whatever. And I don't remember it being like anything amazing. I was just like, I just stick to the shorter one, the one that I remember better.
Yeah.
So,
Because, I mean, the nuclear explosion was long enough.
we'll get to the nuclear explosion thing, because that's one of my favorite scenes. It's very fucking cool.
Two men
Very graphic.
arrive in
Yeah.
Los Angeles in the year 2029. The first is a Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Shut up. Identical to the one that Sarah first encountered, while the second is an unknown man, Robert Patrick, who kills a cop and dresses himself as his victim.
2029.
What?
That was the
What?
future. That was
Yeah,
the future
was
year.
in 2029.
The men arrive in Los Angeles in 2029, but it says the year is 1995. Maybe it means they came from 2029.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. It's wiki, man.
No, it's not. It's fandom.
What's the difference?
Fandom
What?
is somebody wrote that.
Well,
Someone
they do the
wrote
same thing on
fandom.
Wiki, too.
Oh, that's true.
Anyway, just go
I
ahead.
don't know, man.
Whatever. It wasn't 2029. It was
I award you no
1995 or
points.
whatever.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy.
Because I know
on
that
thy
he even says in the
soul.
movie, he says bombs will pretty much be let off on this August something.
August 29th,
1997.
1997.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Anyways, who kills a cop and dresses himself as his victim. John Connor is now living as a delinquent with foster parents. He has grown up being told by his mother that he would someday lead the remnants of the human race to victory against the machines. Sarah's experiences have significantly changed who she is, making her tougher and more vigilant, but also more desperate to warn humanity about the threat of the war of the machines. Wow. The threat of the war of the machines. Okay. While previously attempting to destroy the headquarters of a computer company, Sarah was arrested and imprisoned at Pescadero State Hospital, a maximum security facility for the criminally insane. Meanwhile, the Terminator and the unknown man eventually locate John Connor. The police officer is revealed to be a machine trying to kill John. The Terminator protects John and explains what is happening. He is Cyberdyne?
Yeah.
He is a Cyberdyne Systems Model 101, reprogrammed by the future John Connor to act as his protector in this time. The other Terminator is a T-1000, an advanced prototype which was sent back by Skynet to kill John while he was still a child. The T-1000 is made of a mimetic, I don't know, polyalloy.
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 Yeah, polyalloy.
Essentially a liquid metal that looks like the element mercury.
Exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Especially whenever it pulls up on the ground, and after he turns into ice and he melts, that's definitely mercury that they're using to create that scene. So don't get me wrong, dude. They're like super creative in the way they do. Some of the visuals in this movie are fucking amazing. Even to the day, I'm like, God, that's so cool how they did that.
Allowing it to imitate almost anyone or anything of equal size. In its systematic process to locate John, the T-1000 murders John's foster parents, Todd and Janelle Voight, after imitating Janelle and talking to John by the phone. I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of forgot how gory the first one was. I couldn't remember if it was like super gory or
Not really. I mean,
that had a lot of deaths.
yeah,
but-
it wasn't overly gory though.
No.
It had
I know.
some good blood splatter moments, but
I'd say the most gory stuff was when he
So
was
it was-
taking out that fake eye. And
yeah.
you've seen a lot of
Well,
blood
some of the
with those,
gunshots were pretty heavy duty, pretty
Yeah.
heavy on the blood, but Other than that,
I'm
it's
saying
like,
gory, you know, like you saw, like
like it wasn't like gory, like
Like
bloody,
when he
yeah,
was
but like
popping out the bullets. You saw like some, you know, stuff come
Right.
out with it, but that was about the extent of it.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to like see the dad stabbed in the head. Like,
oh yeah,
right off the
blade
bat.
through the head, yeah.
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 I was like, oh.
Wait,
That
was just,
probably
like,
is the most
twitching.
violent
Okay.
part of this whole movie, to be honest. That probably is the most violent death of all.
Well,
I
it's not the
think-
first time they're stabbed in the head either, because that twin gets stabbed in the head, and someone
Yeah,
else
but they don't
does
show it
too.
as much on that one. You just see it through
Yeah,
the back of the
no.
head.
You see his eye. You see the front of his face.
Oh yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
do.
Oh.
Yeah, but he like pinned the dad to the fucking cabinet door. So
Yeah,
like he's like pinned to the door.
I think that one's got more shock value because that's the first one you see.
Right.
You
yeah.
see him just like twitch.
Yeah, Trevor deserved it.
Yeah.
He was kind of a douche.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Walking Dead.
No.
He wasn't The Walking Dead.
No. Fucking Candyman.
Oh.
That's why I said Trevor deserved it.
In its systematic process.
You have to speak up into the mic.
I'm
People
trying
need
to
to
find
hear
where
you.
I was. Okay, I got it.
Jesus Christ. Long
Awkward
pause.
silence.
It's gonna start
The-
singing there in a second.
The T-800 imitates John's voice and discovers the T-1000's ruse. The T-800 then explains to John that the T-1000 would likely imitate and kill Sarah to get to John. Alarmed by this statement, John tries to leave to alert his mother, prompting the machine to grab him. Desperate, John struggles to free himself and calling for help, alerting two strangers nearby. However, the moment he demands to be freed, the Terminator instantly releases him. The Terminator flatly tells John he must obey the boy as a mission parameter.
That's just dangerous.
Yeah.
Give a child a killing machine. that
Especially
only
knowing what
listens
kind
to
of a
him.
dick he was back then.
Yeah, but I think that it was like him being wiser, knowing that like he's not gonna listen to. It might not be as easy for him to listen to the mom.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. I get it. he's kind of a dick about it.
Yeah. I get why they did it because
Mhm.
it built a relationship between the two, and that
Mm-hmm.
it definitely adds more value to the movie. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Gives
get
a
where I
heart
also
there.
get where your guys are coming from too. Like they gave the power of a killing robot to a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, I think you should go beat the shit out of
That's-
Tommy at school. You know?
Yeah, because like moi, you know, and then he has him kick the shit out of these two guys just because
Almost
they
kill
called
him.
him a name and almost kill him. Like, I don't know. Maybe once he learned the power that thing had,
Right.
it did seem to calm him down a little bit. But that could have went sideways. Is all I'm saying.
Right. However, John decides to use his authority irresponsibly to defend himself when he's insulting one of the men. When the T-800 almost murders the man's intervening friend, John stops him. John suddenly realizes the responsibility of commanding a machine designed for killing. Handling his command over the Terminator more wisely, as well as ordering the T-800 to refrain from killing people and assist in breaking out his mother. John and the Terminator leave to rescue his mother at Pascadero. Sarah has escaped from her prison cell and beats Douglas, a corrupt patient, abusing member.
Okay, but that dude
That
totally
dude
licked her on the
deserved
face.
it.
He was a creep.
Staff.
That
Yeah.
dude belonged in there with the rest of them.
Oh.
Like,
I mean, there was a
Yeah.
better way to make sure that she was really comatose.
yeah, like you don't need to
Yeah.
lick her in the face. Like, I don't know.
And
Like,
if you're gonna lick her in the face, at least wipe her face off. That's nasty.
Just
Don't
maybe don't
do
lick
it
her face
at
at
all.
all.
just don't lick her face. Yeah, at all.
I'm just saying, because... Ew.
I mean,
What if
point
she really
taken.
couldn't
But
move?
maybe just don't.
I'd have
Yeah.
definitely, I'd have beat that dude over the head too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would have.
She should have ripped his dick off.
Real.
Or his tongue, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tongue probably.
No,
more-
take it to the next
Take it
level.
because you're like that dude's definitely gonna sexually assault somebody
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely.
you're not
gonna-
getting the chance now.
Yeah,
Nope.
He's escalating.
yeah. He's feeling out the field. You know what I mean? Like He's probably that guy who's like going around the hospital diddling comatose patients and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, take that guy. You're right. Take his dick.
Yeah.
Grab his dick and twist.
Twist it.
Twist his dick. Give me old dick twist.
Sarah has
tornado.
escaped. Oh god. Sarah has escaped from her prison cell and beats Douglas unconscious with a broom handle until it breaks, locking him in her room. She takes his police baton. Why would they give him a police baton?
That's what orderlies used to carry around
Oh. Well, catching
to try
Peters.
to control the mob.
Oh. Well. You guys ever hear that one hotel that used to be, like a cancer treating place, but he didn't actually cure cancer. He just tricked people into thinking he cured cancer.
Yeah.
And yeah. What's
Yeah,
that
it's a
place
hotel
called?
now. But
Yeah.
back then it was like a spa
Cancer,
hotel, but
yeah. Cancer treatment place.
Mhm.
And he tricked all them people into thinking that it really worked,
Mhm.
but it didn't.
There's a
And
guy.
A bunch of people died.
There was a guy recently that convinced a bunch of people that they had cancer and they didn't have cancer, and he was taking millions. He may ended up making like, I think they got him for like insurance fraud for like $36 million because of all the cancer treatments and everything like that. Like it was all the he was giving people chemo treatment and everything else, and these people didn't even have cancer. So he could line his pockets with all this insurance money. So yeah, it was fucked up. But he ended up getting, I believe, life in prison. So
Yeah.
Dang. Catching Peter Silberman? Sure. And an orderly off guard. She beats the orderly unconscious, hits the guy on the arm, fracturing his wrist, and takes him hostage, holding him with a syringe full of a poisonous industrial-grade drain cleaner jabbed into his neck.
all it takes is a drop of that shit.
Yeah, and she's
She's got
in
that
his
shit
neck.
in his neck, like just a little bit, and he's fucked. Like he's fucked up. Because that's like that. It wasn't bleach. It was like drain
drain
cleaner.
The
or
drain
something.
clean. Yeah.
But like, you're dancing with somebody's life right there by putting that in his neck.
Well, you caught that was the same doctor that was convincing her
Yeah,
back in the 80s.
Yeah,
that
in the
she
first
was-
one. He's in the
Yeah.
third one too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't
He's
remember
also
the
in,
third one at all.
He's not in the third
Hardly
one
at
very
all.
much. He's only in it for like a couple minutes.
But yeah, like it's just crazy because the amount of things that they kept linear.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it too. There's a lot of things from the first one that you get in this one, and you're like, not even just the callbacks with some of the one-liners and shit, but like, like the doctor and things
Like when
like
he
that.
said, he said, I've been following this case for years. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah.
He's in the Genesis one too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he is. I
Because
think
he
he's
comes
there.
in, but he's like the actual like the crazy guy that believes that there
Oh,
were.
I think you're right. I think I do
robots.
remember him being in Genesis.
And he's like,
think
I
he
knew
is.
you were real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you think after, like in the third one, he's still not fully convinced. Like he's only in it for like, I believe like a cameo for like a few minutes. And like, and then he sees the robots again and he's like, no, fuck that. I know what this is. And he kind of runs away.
Yeah,
So-
the only one I remember even remotely is the one that had Anton Yelkin in it.
She uses him to force the other staff
That's Salvation.
to
Yeah.
Was
release
it?
Yeah.
her by opening all
That's
the
the one with Christian Bale.
security
Yeah.
doors. However, on the opposite corridor, another staff member sneaks behind Sarah's back, yanking the syringe from Dr. What's-His-Face's neck and releasing him. She knocks that orderly down and runs down the corridor through a double-locked security checkpoint, breaking off the key in the second barred door.
She broke
which
that off way
forces
too easily.
the pursuing staff
Just like
to double
tink,
back.
like oh yeah, suckers.
And then she was going through those keys pretty quickly for never having had that key ring before.
Yeah, because
and-
there were a lot of keys on that fucker.
Yeah. I mean, were they like marked very clearly or
Yeah.
what?
Like
She-
white
Color-coded.
barred door.
Yeah.
Color coded.
R, cool. Like they're color coded and everything.
She probably like did so many things to find out what doors opened. Like
Right.
she got carried through so many, she just like paid attention to what key they were using.
Maybe. No, yeah, that may be.
I mean, you gotta think she was in there for.
Yeah. She was quick though, is all I'm saying. She went through those doors pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
She's been fucking planning this
Scoping
shit.
it out.
Yeah.
She then makes her way back to the elevators. When the elevator door finally opens, the T-800 walks out. Sarah is instantly mortified by the sight of the same Terminator who had attempted to kill her and runs back. But
That
the
is
staff
literally my favorite
trips her
scene.
up and attempts to restrain her while she struggles.
Yeah, I mean, that was
So
like intense
the part
fear.
I want to say the part where like she's in the interview with the doctor, and she's like trying to be all calm and cool so she can see John and this and that. And then he gives her 6 more months of rehabilitation before they'll reevaluate her again. Why would he say that to her, right to her face?
Because he wanted a reaction
And then
from her.
walk away.
Because he's
like
a prick.
that.
Well, he wanted a reaction to prove to his...
The people that were watching.
Okay, that
Yeah.
would make more sense. Yeah, I guess.
Because she's on
Because
the
I'm like, why
video.
would you do that? Say that? Like, go behind closed doors and then write it down. Or,
She wasn't proving his theory.
Yeah,
Right.
she was being too calm and collected. So he had to get... He was
He
getting a
needed
rise
that
out.
reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll accept that.
But yeah, that is definitely my favorite scene when he walks out of that elevator and her reaction, that sheer terror on her face. Like
She did that really well.
Sarah, by far, is like my favorite thing in this one.
In
I
this
thought
one.
you were about to say in this world.
No, in this movie, by far. Mm-hmm.
Well, just before Dr. What's-His-Face can sedate Sarah, the T-800 interferes by throwing staff members off her. Dr. What's-His-Face is left unharmed and stares in stunned silence while the Terminator reaches down and tells her, "Come with me if you want to live."
Call back from the first movie.
Can't
Yeah.
steal Reese's line.
Yeah, but he took Reese's line and made it his own line.
Yeah, he did.
Let's face it.
John then
bullshit,
tries
though.
to shake Sarah out of her shock by telling her that the Terminator is here to help. Dr. What's-His-Face is then even more stunned as he sees the T-1000 walk through the barred security gate Sarah had previously broke the key off of in. Sarah watches as the Terminator fights off the T-1000 while she and John make a run for it to the elevator. Though the T-800 blows the T-1000's head apart, it regenerates itself and leaps down onto the elevator, while stabbing through the elevator's ceiling with long-bladed extensions. The T-1000 injures Sarah while she joins the T-800 in fighting it off. The trio steals a police car from an unsuspecting cop and flees with the T-1000 chasing them out of the facility and down the highway on foot, but failing to keep up with them when the T-800 blows it off their car.
He runs fast.
He is a sprinter, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. He spends a lot of time in this movie running, too.
Yeah, he does.
He trained for a really, really long time so that he could run that fast, breathing just through his nose. Can you imagine?
Yeah, because he wasn't even like moving, had his mouth open or nothing. It was,
No.
Yeah, he had to look almost robotic while he ran, so...
and they both did a very good job playing robotic movements.
Yeah, see, the thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the first one, he made it a point to play his character very robotically. In this one, I think he gives way a little bit in some scenes.
Well, I think that he's supposed to, because he makes
Yeah.
the comment that he's got a learning computer.
Yeah, he's got a learning computer and he's learning emotion and
Mhm.
things like that. So, whereas in the first one, he didn't have that.
Well, I'm saying
Hasta
like
la
when
vista,
the
baby.
fighting scene, like at the end, when you could really, he was really doing the robotic like
Right.
motions. And I thought that was pretty good. Anyways,
Later... Oh,
no, that's it.
okay. Sure. Later, while the trio are hiding out in an auto repair garage in a deleted scene, Sarah removes the bullets left lodged in the T-800's outer layer of human tissue. The T-800 also reveals that its CPU, its processing chip, which holds its AT and controls its systems, has advanced learning capabilities, but is preset to a read-only mode due to Skynet's paranoia toward other machines' intelligence. At John's suggestion, he and Sarah remove the T-800 CPU so that it will reset to read and write.
That's the
and
extended
improve
That's part of the
the
extended version. Yeah, I do remember that.
intellectual usefulness. Upon the chip's removal, Sarah, still mistrusting of the machines, sees an opportunity to render the Terminator completely inert by destroying the chip, but John stops her at the last second, telling her they need its help. Sarah is reluctant but listens to John when he tells her that he'll one day be a powerful leader and that his decisions will one day be important. She very reluctantly agrees not to destroy the chip, and the Terminator is reactivated. As the trio flees south from the city, the Terminator tells Sarah about the future of Skynet as the sentient computer that will destroy humans. He tells her about its creator, Miles Bennett Dyson, who designs a learning computer that is entrusted with command of all military forces. When Skynet becomes self-aware and its terrified controllers attempt to shut it down, Skynet retaliates by launching a nuclear attack against its targets in Russia, knowing the Russian counterattack will eliminate its enemies in the U.S., an event referred to by the survivors as Judgment Day. Eventually, Sarah, John, and the Terminator arrive at the desert ranch of Enrique Salcida, I don't know, who has preserved an underground weapons cache in the war. Sarah plans to take John and flee over the border into Mexico. During the time at this camp, the T-800 begins to show increasingly advanced and humanized intelligence and behavior as it learns, and John bonds more closely with the Terminator. While watching John teach a Terminator a game, Sarah reflects on the fact that the T-800 makes a good father figure for John. Being a machine, the Terminator would never be abusive or abandon him and would unreversedly let itself be destroyed while protecting him. In turn, John teaches the T-800 to be more human. Sarah falls asleep and suffers her reoccurring nightmare where she sees herself playing with children on a playground. A nuclear bomb explodes in the distance, and Sarah, her double, and all the children die in the intense heat of the explosion of the nuclear bomb. Sarah wakes up seeing that she's carved the words "No Fate" into the table she fell asleep upon. Sarah now believes that by assassinating Dyson, she can prevent Skynet from being invented, derailing Judgment Day and preventing the future war. After she leaves, John and the Terminator find the message she'd left on the table and quickly figure out what she is going to do and drive after her. At Dyson's home, Sarah tries to shoot Dyson, but misses when Dyson's son distracts him from his computer monitor. Sarah is unable to hit her target and enters Dyson's home. She draws a pistol, shooting him in the shoulder, but finds herself unable to kill him in front of his family for a crime he hasn't even committed yet. When John and the Terminator arrive, they inform Dyson of the consequences of his research and prove it to be true by having the T-800 cut the flesh from his arm and reveal the cybernetic arm underneath.
I feel like they could have done a little less to prove that he was a robot. Like, I don't know, take off the tip of your finger maybe, or cut it back and then like peel it over. Anything, not like rip off the whole arm. Like, yeah.
Well,
look at my hand.
I want to know how show 'em translates to rip off your whole arm.
He's like, gives him a knife. Show him. Like.
He didn't. They did. Was there a discussion about like
discussion before this? Like, hey man, whenever we get in there,
here's the code. If I tell you, show him,
you got to cut off like half your arm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
be like Bill and Ted's,
right?
really the
yeah.
You know?
Like, why couldn't he have just done that? Like, just rip open a little bit on his stomach. Like, oh, I am robot. Look at these abs. You can't get perfect. This is perfect. You know, like.
Okay. As the team from Dyson exchange stories concerning Dyson's Skynet project, the Connors and the T-800 discover that the robot arm and the CPU of the previous T-800 survived with hydraulic press Sarah had used to destroy it. Both were secretly recovered by Cyberdyne and are the source of Dyson's Skynet microprocessor research. Just as Kyle Reese's presence in the past brought about John Connor's existence, the original T-800 has brought about Skynet's. When Dyson says
You might be
he'll
onto
just-
something then.
What?
The whole thing about Kyle Reese being
Oh god.
because
I'm just saying.
she just said, the T-800 being in the past created Cyberdyne because they found that, which, it wouldn't.
See what I'm saying?
The
Full
technology
circle, man.
wouldn't have existed if that hadn't come back, and then.
So you're saying that like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator might be his dad too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he's his own dad.
Mm-hmm.
See, just saying.
Yeah, because that technology they wouldn't have known how to make it if it weren't for the T-800 going back there.
I'm telling you, Reese might have went back in time and banged his own grandma.
I don't want
That's all I'm
to. I don't
saying.
want to agree with him, but now we've got two.
It's
Two
kind of like Back to
examples.
the Future if Marty McFly would have went through with banging his mom.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same thing.
Yeah. That's
Kinda.
That's not
Kind of the same thing. All right, well, if he would have instead, like, I don't know, kind of like your mom a little bit more. What's up, Grandma?
Okay.
You can call me Calvin Klein.
When Dyson says
Well,
he'll
the Back to the
discontinue
Future, it
his
wouldn't work.
research and quit Cyberdyne the next day, Sarah and the Terminator convince him that they must destroy everything related to his chip design, including the T-800 pieces immediately, so that no one can follow his work and take his place as Skynet's creator. Sarah, John, and the Terminator and Dyson break into the Cyberdyne Systems building and retrieve the part from the first Terminator, while preparing explosives to destroy all of Dyson's research. Security alerts the police, who show up in force. When the SWAT team enters the building, they mortally shoot Dyson, who stays behind the trigger to trigger the detonator. The T-1000, now disguised as a motorcycle cop, has also heard the alert and arrives at the site. The T-800 holds the police off with a minigun it had taken from Salceda's... Salceda? I don't know.
Sure.
Arsenal.
I just want to say real quick, if they wouldn't have went back to kill Miles Dyson, they could have been on the run for years. Like, because they had lost the T-1000 at this point. He didn't know where they were. He had no fucking clue. The only way he could have done anything if he would have found out about Sarah Connor's contact and then went and tortured them for information. Aside from that, they bailed on his ass. He had no fucking clue where they were.
Yeah, but this
They would have had to
The
come back
Dyson-
and get Dyson anyways because he was going to be the one who created Cyberdyne.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if
Well-
she had never went back to do that and to begin with, like, if they would have just continued on into Mexico like their plan was,
but
he would have never
getting-
found them.
But getting rid of Dyson or blowing up Cyberdyne.
I get that.
is
but
the
what
only
I'm
way
saying
to
is, like,
prevent-
if they would have just kept on their plan of just going into Mexico and not
Yeah,
even worrying
they
Yeah,
about
but
would've-
in
they
2
would've-
years, Judgment Day happens regardless.
Right, I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, he would have never caught them, and John Connor would have lived.
For 2 more years. Well, yeah, he would have lived, but they were trying to prevent Judgment
It
Day.
altogether.
Yeah.
See, this is where they're like, why would you take John Connor with you?
I see your point there.
Leave him
yeah.
back in Mexico with the people or whatever, and then go kill Miles Dyson. And because, like, or
Although-
just send your Terminator to do it.
Although, you could look at it this way, though, too. He's the savior of mankind, and you know that.
Right.
So if Judgment Day is going to happen, if you go there and you fail and Judgment Day is going to happen, he's going to live.
True.
You know he's going to live.
I mean, that's not exactly true, though, because they said that the time had, because before the iteration of what's happening, there were no robots that came back into the past, blah, blah, blah. And in the future, John Connor just became the leader of the resistance. There were no robots that came for him before until he sent them back. So then they came back. Then, like, all these other things happened. So who's to say that John Connor didn't die? And from there was no resistance.
Well, if there wasn't any robots to resist against, then yeah, he could have died.
That's what I'm saying.
But
So why
there-
take the chance and take him with you to kill Miles Dyson?
you wouldn't have to kill Miles Dyson if there wasn't any robots, and then there wasn't any.
But that's what I'm
Judgment Day.
saying. Why take the chance? Just leave him there. Leave him back in Mexico.
Why
Go
would you
kill
be going
Miles.
to? Why would you be going to Mexico if John's not in danger? And
No, I'm
there's
saying like because you're missing my point. See, now this is where
Alright,
time
guys.
travel gets confusing.
I'm so confused.
I know, me too, a little bit. But like,
A lot of it.
never mind. Let's just continue.
But the SWAT force still infiltrates the building.
God damn it!
After
I hate time travel.
After a brief,
Exactly. It's exactly how I feel.
after a brief gunfight with the SWAT team, Sarah, John, and the T-800 escape, stealing the SWAT team's van. Back in the lab, Dyson, severely injured in the gunfight, holds a piece of his prototype processor over the trigger. When the SWAT team finds him, he warns them he won't be able to keep from triggering the bomb, and they retreat. After a few moments later, Dyson dies and sets off the bomb. Sarah, John, and the Terminator flee in the SWAT van with the T-1000 in pursuit in a police helicopter, with the T-800 driving and Sarah trying to hold the T-1000 off from the back of the van. She is shot through the thigh. And
I have
the
a
van
question on
crashes
this.
when
I do
the
too.
helicopter
I bet it's the same
crashes
question.
into it.
Did you not pay attention to when he's flying the helicopter? It literally looks like
He's
he
got
has
a third arm.
third hand.
He does.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm
Yeah.
not the only one.
Yeah, he
seeing
does.
Mhm.
That. Okay.
So that was purposely put in
Mm-hmm.
because he can manipulate his
His
body.
body.
And things, he can have a third arm.
Okay.
Because it's funny because as a kid I never noticed. it.
Neither did I. Till
And then I was watching
this
like
time.
I watch a lot of top 10s and things like that, and it was on a top 10 list. I was like, holy fuck, he's got a third arm. And then I watched it again. It's like, holy shit, I never noticed that before. He does have a
This
third
is
arm.
the first
And
time
it
I've
was-
noticed it.
It was
Yeah.
purposely put in for him to have a third arm, so he can control the gun and while he's flying the helicopter.
Okay.
It's
No,
fucking
that,
wild, ain't it? Because I never noticed.
I never
it as a kid.
noticed until this,
Yeah.
this viewing of it.
that
Yeah.
wasn't my question. My question was, how did she get the bulletproof vest to stick to the door?
Yeah, I
She, like,
wanted
I don't
that
know,
too.
like, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad she did.
I
like,
thought I missed something.
yeah, she just like wedged him into the window somehow,
Spider spit.
or yeah,
Spider spit?
spider spit. There
Spider
you go.
Must
Yeah,
be.
let's go
Okay.
with that.
Oh, gotcha.
Tuh.
What?
Must be it.
She's
Okay.
like, oh, gotcha. You are high, aren't you?
No, it's just me.
Oh, and then like when they were at the building at Cyberdyne, when he had that gun or whatever, the Gatling gun,
Yeah.
Gatling gun.
and he tells him, he's like, you can't kill anybody, and he's like, I won't, and he goes out there and he like just shoots and
Everything
blows
but the
everything
people.
up, and nobody dies, right?
Yeah, nobody gets injured.
But
They'll live.
that screen
Will
comes
live.
up and says human casualties. I don't know. Maybe I'm just retarded, but it made me
Human
laugh
live.
because it was 0.0. So you have decimals for people.
Yeah. Somebody lost a leg.
You can kill a 0.4 of a person.
Yeah, I feel like maybe
He's
somebody lost a
almost
leg.
dead.
There's
I think
a
you
little
should throw
person
that
on the
0.9
field.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like somebody like a 10-year-old died out there. That's half a person, right?
Yeah, like we only killed 2.5 people.
Or
That's
somebody
fine.
lost a leg, so 0.2 people died.
Yeah. But that,
Hey, that person's almost dead. Go ahead and put that 0.8.
yeah. When
You'll
that,
get
It's
there.
close enough. That counts,
Yeah.
right?
when that came up, I laughed out loud. I was like, why do we have decimals?
You never know, man.
Okay.
They steal
Gotta be
small.
accurate.
Animals count as points too.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh.
Squirrel.
But it said human casualties.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe squirrels are humans underneath their skin.
Wow, that got real weird.
Hey, that one's a
No?
stretch.
Okay,
no, I
fine.
don't think so.
You never know. You've never dissected a squirrel before. I don't think.
No. No, I've never dissected anything.
Not even a frog.
No, I don't do that shit, man.
I
Did
did.
I
you
love
di-
animals too much.
Did you dissect an owl pellet?
Yeah.
A
What's
what?
that?
An owl pellet?
No.
No,
No, I've never dissected
remember we did
anything.
it, like in like
I'm really weird about
elementary school.
animals. I love animals.
I dissected
So
a frog
I'm
in
really,
6th grade.
I'm against dissecting anything.
Yeah, we had
Touching
a
anything, killing
I like
anything.
we had to
Hard.
dissect an owl pellet in like elementary school.
Nah, I've never.
It's like what they vomit up.
We
Yeah.
dissected a frog in 7th, or a worm in 7th, and then we dissected a frog in 6th.
I can't even kill worms, man. I hate putting them on fishing lines. I hate
No.
killing. Well, I can't say that's not true because I've cleaned fish before, so that That's
I've
one thing.
dissected a lot of stuff.
Whoa. You're fucking.
I've been in
Okay,
a lot.
Dexter,
I was
chill
pre-med
out.
for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Good
Well, you gotta
Lord.
elaborate then. You can't just be like,
Have you
I've
ever
dissected a
dissected
lot
a
of things.
baby?
Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Fucking Dexter over
Oh.
here.
Yeah.
With the fetal pig, though, in high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, see, I can't do that.
See,
They were like,
I
you want to go
wanted-
hunting with me? No, I don't want to go hunting with you. Why not? Because I'm like just not. I'm not good with killing shit. I'll eat it. I can eat meat all day, dude, but I just can't kill it. I can't see how it dies. I used to know a guy
Can't
that
see
worked
it
in
looking
a,
at you with its eyes like
yeah,
this.
I used to know a guy who worked in a pig
Butcher.
slaughterhouse, and I used to give him rides to work because I didn't work there, but he needed a ride, so I'd take him. Like, all right, man, let's go. So I took him to work, and I did this for about 2 weeks, I think. And I was like, so how do you guys do it? And he's like, and he told me how they do it, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it, man. He's like, once you get used to it, you're used to it. I was like, nope, not me. Not me. I don't care if it's a pig, a dog, a cat. Anything. I can't do it. It's not me.
Anyways, we
See
got that
Joseph
guy's
over there, like,
liver.
just
That's gonna be
petting
a
the pig, and then
point
somebody
one.
just
walking, ow! He's like,
I quit. I quit. I'm out, and I'm never fucking eating bacon again. Thank you.
So thank you, for
killed
that.
George.
I named him and everything.
Jorge, was that you?
I
Oh my
named him.
god. Guys, I'm gonna be sick.
I
That was
can't-
Jorge.
It's just I can't do it, man. I could probably kill a person before I could an animal.
I can kill
Like, because people are fucked up. You know what I mean?
They're
like,
dicks.
They're dicks. They talk. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, they talk. I mean, they do. Think about it. My dog doesn't talk, and I look at my dog. I'm like, I can't be mad at you. You know what I mean?
Just
Like, I love
forewarning,
him, man.
don't talk around Joseph.
Like if you guys have seen my dog. Crixus is like the most innocent looking. He just
Okay.
like looks at you like,
Silent treatment, go.
who? To the dog? Oh, because yeah, well, I'm just like he looks at me and I'm like, I couldn't do it, man. I'm like, you're so fucking. I can't even get mad at him or if he does dumb shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn it, dude. And then he looks like, you know what I mean? Like, because he doesn't talk. He's like, ha, motherfucker. Now you got to clean that up. He doesn't say that. You know what I mean? Whereas people are like, sorry. You know what I mean? Like jackasses. And
Yeah,
so I don't like people as much as I like animals.
it's all fair.
No,
points.
What?
No, you already know what you sound
I'm
like.
not
though.
worried about
It's
it.
gonna slit your throat, dude.
I'm gonna
I ain't
slit
scared.
my throat. I'm not gonna kill anybody. I can't kill anybody. I like killing flies though. I fucking hate flies. I
Do
do
they
hate
even
flies.
count as living things, though?
Yeah, I guess. All right, continue. Let's get through this.
I don't know if I should talk.
You'll be all right.
The fact that you have to say that is bad.
You can do it. I've got faith in you.
They steal a small pickup truck and manage at first to avoid the T-1000, which has seized a large tanker truck, taking an exit ramp off the highway. The T-800 once again holds off the T-1000 and flips the tanker over. It crashes into the entrance of a
Driving a
forge
truck
at
with
a
a big-ass
steel mill.
kennel
Spilling
on the
its
back of
liquid
it.
nitrogen load everywhere. The T-1000 stumbles after them, but the nitrogen immobilizes it. Seeing an opportunity, the T-800 shatters it with a gunshot, but the intense heat in a nearby cauldron thaws the shards, and the machine reassembles itself in minutes.
And one of the coolest scenes in this fucking movie is whenever he comes out and he's like, you know, turning into ice or whatever, and his his limbs are breaking. It is the coolest effect, and I want to know how the fuck they did it because it is so, like, even the way like Robert Patrick plays it and everything, with like his leg breaking off and him falling down, everything is such a cool
The way he just
effect, everything, and like his arm breaks off and he's like looking at it, and it's like you can see like the inside of like the frozen liquid
Yeah.
metal. It's just such a cool thing. And then like even whenever he shoots him and he breaks into a million pieces, it's the coolest fucking effect. And then like he goes down, and even whenever he starts to melt, it is like I don't know how the hell they
It's
did
perfection.
it all. It is so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Even
see-
for 95, you're like, they can't even do practical effects like that now.
And why? Here's my question: why didn't the Terminator walk up and just take the frozen part, the frozen robot, and just throw him, in
Or
the
at least
lava?
a bunch
just throw
of
him in
it.
the lava? Just
Yeah, because I mean, well, if you think about it, what if he would have thrown half of it in there?
he'd
Then
been
you'd have a little person.
He'd be fighting a little guy.
We're talking about like if you start because when he got stuck on, or when he was on the back of the car.
And he lost the little
and,
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Jeremiah's like, so like, you know, does
If
he
does,
lose the
does
hand?
He lose a little
and
bit,
I was like,
or
no, I think he just
gets smaller.
loses. He would just get
a little bit
smaller.
smaller.
And he's like, so if he keeps losing pieces, or is he sooner or later going to be like, get back here, John? I want to get
Yeah, like can he just make a bunch of little hymns? You know what I mean, running around.
Little ash. Just
Yeah, a bunch of little
That's
ashes.
like, what if you break them into like pieces and then put them in a jar, and then like you got little hems.
He'd still break out because he'd make little knives.
Yeah, he could make
and
little
cut 'em,
knives.
'cause
Yeah, he could probably still break out.
Maybe a little
Industrial
faster. You'd be like
strength
sticking like
jars.
toothpicks in your
Well,
feet.
my thing is like, so what is? Okay, so he's liquid metal, yes, but where does? How does he think? Where is his? Like, is he like? Kind of like how like nanobites work, where they're all like they all have individual brains, but they all work together as a unit.
I would imagine.
So,
it's
probably,
something
yeah,
like
it
that.
has to
Where
be
was
something
his
like
similar
chip
to
at?
that because
Where was his chip at?
that's what I'm saying is like his chip, essentially his brain.
I think the whole thing is whatever that liquid metal is, whatever it's made out of, that's the computer.
That's so fucking wild. Because I never was able to wrap my brain around
Because
what he was made of. Because like in future movies, they do like half machine, half liquid metal. But I'm like, yeah, but like the liquid metal dude was like way better.
mm-hmm.
Like why
it
would
was
you
like
want
half
part
machine and like graphite.
Yeah, why would you want half? Yeah, why would you want half machine, which is a physical entity that can be destroyed, and then half liquid metal? Like in the third one,
You can't do better than the T-1000.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like,
that's
they
what I
already
said. I was
did-
like, he is the best villain in all of the movies because in the other, like in the second or in the third one, they send back a woman robot and she's half liquid metal and also half robot. I'm like, I get that they're trying to like, oh well, she's the best of both. Like, no, because the T-1000 was perfect.
Mhm.
He was literally just liquid metal. He could do anything.
Anything.
There was no, oh man, if you break off this arm, you know, it's gone. Like there was none of that. You know what I mean? Like he could just reform. I never understood that about the third one. Like you're not making a better robot this way.
Yeah, it was just like where I can't remember which one it was, like Genesis or whatever. And it was a
It's kind of the same
graphite,
concept.
graphite with a robot.
Yeah, it was kind of
skeleton.
same concept a little bit.
But the way I understand it, the liquid metal itself is the computer, because one of the coolest things I found in trivia, and I don't remember if I put it in there or not, but is that they were trying to figure out for the death scene, when it gets thrown into the lava, what would that computer, because it's made out of liquid, look like? Because at the end of the first one, you know, as she's crushing the computer, you get that, you know, fade out, and it glitches like a computer would glitch. And they wanted to do this, like a similar thing with this. Okay, how would a liquid metal computer glitch? And they landed on, well, it would go through every form it's
every
gone
phase
through.
that it had gone through.
and
Yeah,
it would,
pretty much every file it had taken in
Correct.
or absorbed, it would
Correct.
probably go through. Yeah, I mean, I
would
could see
cycle.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I found that very interesting. And then, you know, talking about, well, where's the computer? It is the computer.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. It's so cool because like literally all he says, all you gotta do is touch what he wants to become, essentially like a living thing or whatever, organism, whatever. He touches it and he can become that. And usually he would essentially delete that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's like copying that file, becoming that file, all while deleting that file.
Except for in Sarah's case.
Right. Yeah, because he didn't get to.
Right.
Just wild, man. It's crazy.
Alright. I got like a whole page left still. The Terminator, John, and Sarah retreat into the mill. The T-1000 marches relentlessly after them, dealing with a glitch that forces it to imitate several surfaces it passes. When the T-800 tells John and Sarah to find a hiding place, the T-1000 finds him and they fight hand to hand. The T-1000 brutally and heavily damages the T-800, pinning its arm in a giant gear. The T-1000 continues its hunt for John. Sarah drops her son into a conveyor belt over his protests and confronts the T-1000 directly. It finally pins her down with pointed extensions of its fingers, demanding that she call John back. She harshly refuses. The T-800 then reappears, attacking the T-1000 with a large metal prying bar. The T-1000 fights back, eventually gaining the upper hand and impaling the T-800 to the deck. A short distance away, John hears his mother calling him. When he finds her, she appears to be injured, but before he can walk to her, another Sarah appears behind her. John sees that the first Sarah is the T-1000, disguised as Sarah. John ducks and Sarah shoots at the T-1000 until she's out of shotgun shells, almost toppling it into the molten metal vat.
So it's pretty cool because, like, I don't know if they did it in this scene, but I know in the scene for the nuclear explosion, which we didn't even touch on, they use her twin sister for her from the in her
Mom mode.
Yeah. So I don't know if they used her for this too. They might have used her as a stand-in for like the behind scenes and things like that.
Anytime there's two of her on screen at the same time, it's her twin sister.
I figured so. I can't remember her name. I think it's Linda, not Linda Hamilton or Linda.
Oh.
Cindy.
No, it's
Laura.
No, I can't remember her name now.
Yeah.
She was in the original Children of the Corn. Her sister was.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was in the original Children of the Corn.
Lila.
I thought that was Linda.
I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure it was her twin sister. Her twin sister was in it, I believe. Let me look it up real quick. So about the I forgot, I didn't even touch on this, but the effects for the nuclear explosion scene were fucking fantastic,
They were.
dude. Mm-hmm. It was so cool and so realistic.
They've actually gotten so many accolades about that. That's right, accolades, right?
Accolades, yeah.
They've gotten so much because like people that study that kind of stuff or like, you know, see the footage from like the 50s when they used to like set that kind of stuff off and all that. People that study that kind of stuff have, you know, contacted them and like told them that
you're
that's
right. It was Linda Hamilton. Yeah.
They're like, you know, contacting them and saying like, you know, that is the closest to the real thing we've ever seen on screen ever. I mean, you're doing pretty good then if you've got the experts saying like that's pretty amazing.
I don't know her fucking...
I want to say it's like Mary or Marley or something. Like, it starts with an M.
Melissa.
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm going to look it up real quick.
You ever hear, like, from, like, the sailors that's actually seen the mushroom clouds and all that? How they had to do it, like, when the bomb dropped, they had to face away and put their head down. And they said they could literally see the bones in their hands and their arms from the x-ray that came with the radiant.
So there's Linda Hamilton. Leslie.
Damn.
Oh, wow, she died.
She died?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Hamilton's twin sister, Leslie, died on August 22nd, 2020, at age 63.
Wow.
Was not aware of that. Yeah.
But yeah, and
they look so much alike, too.
But when they're in the scenes together...
Sad part is that I think she was prettier. Yeah, she was prettier.
When they're in the scenes together, you can tell the difference though, because like Linda Hamilton was like kind of buffed up for this role.
Yeah. And
her sister isn't. They didn't like, you know, make them square up or whatever.
Right.
So you can tell the difference.
Yeah, she's prettier in a very much more natural way, I guess you could say. It's so weird. Yeah, more of in a feminine way, I guess.
Feminine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, John sees that the T-800, having reactivated itself using an alternate power source, blasts the T-1000 with a grenade launcher, which causes it to lose balance, and fall into the vat of molten metal. They all watch the T-1000 flail helplessly in the molten steel until it melts, ultimately destroying it. John asks the Terminator if the robotic arm from the first T-800 will mill in the steel. The Terminator tells him it will, and not to forget to destroy the processor chip as well. After John throws the arm and chip from the first Terminator into the molten metal, the T-800 says that he too must be destroyed to prevent his technology from being used to create Skynet. He tells Sarah that he cannot self-terminate, and she must lower him into the steel. John tearfully begs the Terminator not to leave, but the Terminator insists it must be done. The T-800 apologizes to John and hugs him like a father before proceeding to the railing. Sarah finally offers her hand in friendship to the Terminator, which he graciously shakes. As the Terminator sinks into the molten steel, he gives both Connors an encouraging thumbs up, bidding them farewell. With the death of the closest paternal figure he ever had, John breaks down crying in his mother's arms while Sarah gives him a mournful look of respect at the Terminator's sacrifice. Sarah ends the film with a voiceover in which she describes her newfound optimism regarding the future.
Also, did you guys see the part where whenever he got his arm stuck in whenever he shoved his arm in that gear, did you see his his actual arm in the sleeve as he stood up? I did. I catch it every time. It pisses me off.
And on that note, so that arm that he left behind that got crushed.
I know. I thought the same thing. Like, so hold on now. What about that arm? Because
nobody thought about that.
Nobody thought about going back for that one, the one that he left in the gear back there.
Yeah.
Because you know that whole place is going to be fucking swarmed with, Skynet, all that.
They're gonna be
stuff.
halfway to Mexico.
Oh shit!
Damn it!
Fucking arm. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe that was something that I think that might be. Maybe that's something that comes up in the third one, possibly. I don't know though.
I can't
remember.
So.
I don't.
I've only seen the third one like twice or something. But there's just some things there are some plot. This is not an airtight fucking script. That's 100% sure. Like there are some flaws in this movie, like a few.
Yeah.
And one thing that did drive me nuts is John Connor's voice whenever he screams. Mom! Like he screams like he's definitely.
He was going through puberty.
Puberty, 100%.
Sure.
Like, oh my god, dude, come on.
It was bad too.
It was.
He was so whiny though in general.
He was very whiny.
I remember even being a kid and being like, "This is the savior of mankind."
It sounds like he's the savior of the emo kids.
Well, if you're emo, you're emo.
I'm just thinking.
Right.
Ooh, hope I'm one of the 3 billion.
I kind of went through what I thought of the movie as I went. You guys want to get?
Yeah,
you guys have any more notes? Do you have any notes, Karen?
I don't think I do. Oh, one thing. So we were talking about the continuity.
Yeah.
We were talking about the doctor. One of the other things I noticed and I really liked was right before the foster dad bit it, he was talking about the dog. And he was bitching about the shut the fucking dog up, blah, blah, blah. Dogs were early warning systems.
Right.
Kyle talked about it in the first one.
Yeah, yep.
And if you're paying attention.
It was a German Shepherd, too.
Yeah, if you're paying attention, like the dog going off as an early warning sign to the audience that, like, hey, something's not right here.
That's true. Yeah, you actually brought out that. I never thought about that, but that's true, yeah.
It is neat.
Because in the first one, they said that they used dogs for... And they were even German Shepherds in the first one, and in this one they had a German Shepherd, and
that was the first cue for the Terminator when John's like, the dog's going nuts.
Yeah, and he says, "What's the dog's name?"
Yeah, so he's like, That's when
he says Max, and then he says,
he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong, Wolfie of all?
Yeah, what's wrong with Wolfie?
You couldn't think of a better name than Wolfie.
It worked.
Yeah. Oh, nothing. Wolfie's fine.
But yeah, like I thought of that too when I seen that it was the same.
I'd never put that together, but yeah, you're right.
When I saw it was the same doctor, and then like the dogs, it's like, man, that's another carryover from the first one. Like the continuity here is just
some of the things all written and directed by James Cameron.
Sure,
so.
And he's known to be a perfectionist, but I think that's all I had really. Yeah,
except for he forgot that damn arm.
Oh, and the.
Did he though, or maybe he was leaving that open for another sequel?
Well, the other ones weren't canon.
Yeah, well, but let's talk about that.
Not after this one, because he's probably. I think after he walked away from this one, he was probably like, "I don't want to fuck this up. I think I'm going to just stop it too."
That's why they decided the first two are the only ones that are canon, because at the end of
I think that's what James Cameron thought. Like, why he probably was like, I could go do another.
But as a fan,
one.
I would agree.
I agree too.
Because like anything beyond this, because of the way this ends, is any number of possible futures.
Yeah, exactly.
And
for him to be like leave it open ended at the second one, he's just like, yeah, I could do a third, or I could just like let. But I think it was like one of those things where this movie did so well, why make a third? Why not just leave this as is? And and leave it at that. You know, I think that's how he looked at it.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody else came along, or the company or whatever was like, "We need
This made all of the money."
Yeah, this made all the money. We need to make another one.
Well,
So yeah,
for sure.
which they waited several years to make a third one, but still,
Yeah, it was in the 2000s.
it was in the
wasn't it?
2000s. Yeah,
It was like 2008.
I think
or something.
3 or something like
Was
that.
it?
I think it was early 2000s.
It was
I
early
think.
2000s.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was like 3 or some shit.
Something like that.
2003,
It was
2004.
I think it was.
But anyway, yeah, you guys got
Yeah,
our
I'm
notes?
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and rate this fucking movie.
Let's go this bitch.
All right, so as usual, as per, let's start with Madison on what she thinks of Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I like this movie. I thought it was really well done for being done in 94.
91.
91. It took place in 95.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where did I get 94 from?
You were trying to find the middle point.
Yeah, timeline's
Oh.
fucked up
You can
anyway.
whatever year you want it to be. It's fine.
The only way that this timeline could work is if that Terminator 1 took place in a different year that wasn't the year that they filmed it in.
Yeah.
But they don't think they specifically mention. I don't remember if they do or not. What year the movie actually takes place
I feel
in.
like she did at some point in time. Like
She may have. It would only make sense if they did. You know what I mean?
maybe they didn't, but I feel like she did at some point.
Right.
I could be wrong.
But I thought it was a good movie. It was action packed and stuff. I didn't expect there to be like even a little bit of gore, which I don't really know what I was expecting. It's rated R, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
So there was that. I'm gonna go ahead. I didn't even think about it. I'll give it a solid 7.5.
Damn.
Which it's not solid, so I'll just 7.5.
All right. So I remember this movie as a kid. Like I said before, my mom hated me because I watched it so much as a kid, because this is one of the movies that the first time I saw it, I remember I watched it at my uncle's house with my cousins, and my cousins had already seen it, and they gave away the ending, and I didn't believe them because they said, yeah, he dies at the end. I said, no, he doesn't. Heroes don't die at the end of movies. Like, that's ridiculous.
Get out of here, crazy.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed off, but I was like, you're a fucking liar. Like, you're definitely lying about this movie. So, and then as the movie continued, obviously he killed himself, and I was like, as a kid, like as an adult, that makes sense to you, but as a kid, you're like, no way. Like, I was like 7, I think, 6 or 7. That was ridiculous to me.
This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Oh, what are you
But-
talking about?
I watched the movie. After that, the movie was like instilled in my brain, and I could never not, like, we had it on VHS. We didn't even have an actual copy, so because this is the old school way of pirating.
You had the TV.
No, it was the TV version. See, what we did whenever I was a kid was my mom's ex-husband would take, and we would rent movies. And we had 2 VCRs.
Oh yeah.
The one ran through the other. You recorded it, and we had 3 movies on each VHS.
Yeah.
And we had the first 2 Terminators on 1 VHS. And I watched that fucking movie religiously. It was on HBO. I was watching. I watched that movie.
He's not even religious.
Yeah. And so, but we had like over 300 movies in like one of them old school. I remember everything. Like, we had all the Rockies.
Yeah.
All on like 3 different VHSs. So, and it was like 5 of them. But like that one stands out the most to me. And I just remember watching this movie a lot as a kid. This one is definitely nostalgic for me because I watched it so much. I had action figures. I had, like I said, my mom hated me for it. But everything about this movie still holds up. The CGI, the fucking practical effects are amazing. I fucking love the practical effects in this movie. The story holds up. Yeah, there's some little tiny plot holes in there that are like, you're like, yeah, but it's not enough to ding it for anything.
There's no such thing as a Loctite time travel
No, there's
movie.
no, there's not. You're 100% right on that. And I can't hate this movie for the life of me, man. I just love it so much. I love Arnold's performance. I love Linda Hamilton's performance. Robert Patrick is probably one of the coolest. He's definitely the coolest villain in the Terminator series by far. He's the best villain.
100%.
He even tops out Arnold Schwarzenegger from the first one, in my opinion, in this movie because
You did too.
he's cold. I mean, yeah, I know he was cold in the first one, but like in this one, he's cold. He's relentless. He fucking runs. I mean, he's a sprinter too. You know what I mean? Like he's just a killing machine, and he's fucking liquid metal.
And he doesn't have to
And he's have
spend
to-
time with
Yeah.
humans to actually learn how to
Exactly.
interact with them.
He's just a killing machine, and he's half the size of Arnold, and still throws him around. You know what I mean? It's awesome. Like he's so cool in this fucking movie. This is definitely the best Robert Patrick thing I've ever seen, and he's always stayed in my mind because of this movie.
Yeah.
And this is why I think he's so famous and popular today. But even like seeing Edward Furlong in this movie, this is the first thing I've ever seen him in. And then like just from here on out, he was always on my radar, and I always hated what happened to him and how like drugs got the better of him and things like that. Because I remember seeing him in like Pet Sematary 2 and some of these other movies, and then seeing him in some of his lower budget movies. I don't remember in The Crow, and that movie was fucking terrible. And he was in
seeing what potential he had and
right,
what happened
exactly.
to him.
And I saw him in that Demon, that Night of the Demons remake.
The remake.
And it sucks to see him. You know, it just sucks, man. He's one of them guys that like he's one of the few. If I had a top 10 list of actors that I wish could make a huge comeback, he'd be on that fucking list in like the top 5 probably. And because I feel so bad for him, and I feel like, you know, he almost deserves it, you know. But, you know, shit happens. Child actors, man, back in the 80s and 90s. But anyway, for me, the movie stands out. It's a fantastic movie. It's still one of my favorites today. I'd probably put it in my top 20, probably. So 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. Yeah, I love this movie.
It's pretty fair.
Yeah.
For me, I guess.
Oh, hold on. Music. Music is
That was
awesome.
the first thing I was gonna start
Music
with.
is awesome. Sorry, I wanted to say it before you did, so I didn't feel like, I'm gonna piggyback off of Karen.
That was the first thing I
I'm
was
gonna
gonna start with.
piggybacking off all of you.
Oh, that's
But-
fine.
What I was actually gonna kind of piggyback off of what I've been saying about the continuation, because in the first one, what I like about this one and the second one is you have basically the same soundtrack,
Yeah.
but what they do is they update it to fit, you know, the time frame in which it's made.
They also they do so. Okay, so I heard something like the music, the way that the musical score for this movie is written it's like an impossible score of some kind. Something about it is like super unique, where
something about a heartbeat was what I'd heard, but
yeah,
I don't
like
know.
I mean, like something about it was like unique in the way that like it couldn't be written in musical notes or something like that.
I haven't heard.
So
that.
I don't remember. I don't remember the exact details of it, but something about that dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
That is written in a way that apparently the guy who wrote the score for it did it. He didn't write it. I think it was just like a beat that he came up with or something. But
I thought that was off the first one.
it was in this one.
It-
I know it was.
it's
In,
I'm
both.
saying like the score was created. in
it
the
was,
first
but
one
I
have
mean, what
an
he did with
impossible
this
note.
one was an impossible note.
The only thing I've ever heard like that was in Beetlejuice.
Right, but
horns
it
in
wasn't
that
something like it's not like a musical score like it was like done by like an orchestra or band or whatever.
Yeah, no, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. That I'm just saying that.
I can't remember. I
that's the only thing
I didn't know if it was in trivia or anything.
No, I haven't seen anything about
Okay.
that.
I didn't know.
No.
Not a big deal. Music's awesome. That's all that matters.
No, I agree. But yeah,
a fucking
what
10-year-old could have come up with it. I'd still love it. So
well, it's perfect. It's perfect. The only thing I'd ever heard about it was that they had some kind of like if a robot had a heartbeat, what would it sound like? Was sort of like their idea. Or
I guess,
something.
yeah. It sounds cool.
I guess. But yeah, how they were just taking the same soundtrack and updating it,
Right.
and how it works so well for the time frame. And I said earlier, you know, about Linda Hamilton. One of the things that I think she kind of kills it in this, just because of the contrast of her character in the first one. You see that
Oh, yeah.
huge contrast.
Oh yeah. She's a completely different character in this one.
And you see like physicality, her whole demeanor.
Your introduction to her is her like doing pull-ups, dude.
Yeah, but the
Not
one
them pussy ones like this. She was doing them like this.
Yeah,
the front hand ones. Them things are harder.
the one scene that stole it for me was when she's like pretending to be catatonic, but it's when the police are questioning her. And they're telling her, you know, your son's missing and that guy from the 80s is back. And your son's missing. Don't you care? Blah, blah, blah. And she's just sitting there. But if you look at her eyes are terrified. Like her eyes, there's just the hint of tears and her eyes are terrified.
Right.
Like that's great acting.
I didn't tell you, she was actually in the episode of Resident Alien that we watched today.
Was she?
She's in the series, apparently.
Oh,
she
she
just showed up in this episode. I think it's episode 5.
7.
It is 7? Episode 7? So she showed up in this episode, and I knew that she was in the series. I just didn't know when she came in.
Yeah.
And she popped on the screen. I was like, hey, Madison, who is that? She's like, Ripley? I was like, equally badass, but no. Like,
yeah. But, yeah, I really liked that about her. I thought her acting and her physical change, the way that she brought a physical change as well as creating that character way more badass in this one. I really like that. But most of the other things you said I agree with. The only one thing about that scene with the nitrogen that has always bothered me. It's an amazing scene.
Yeah.
Perfection.
It's one of the best scenes of the whole movie.
I agree, 100%. But when he like breaks his arm off, right, or breaks his hand off, and it comes up, and he's like, and he looks surprised, like, well, how can you show? You're not supposed to show emotion. Like, it's just weird to me.
I get that. Yeah, you're like, wait, why is he showing this shock value? This
Yeah,
shock emotion?
he looks there, like he's like, what?
Like, what the fuck?
Like that is a great scene, and then I'm like, what are you doing? You know.
But then again, when he falls in the vat of molten steel, he also shows emotion there too.
Right.
So
it's just strange because they do everything so perfect otherwise with him. No emotion, but like it's those two scenes, which maybe it's just because it's him. Can a robot feel emotion for itself? I don't know. I'm not getting into philosophical questions.
Can a
more
robot
of a surprise, like a surprise reaction?
Can a robot feel death, or can he feel like, oh shit, I'm dying?
Can a robot
or maybe it was more like surprise, like I can't believe that you got me, or can't believe.
Like I said, it's just a surprise reaction, like. What is this?
But then again, she's saying like even that's an emotion though. Because
that's true.
I get what you're saying, like 100%. Because as a robot, there shouldn't be any shock there. It should just be like he should still be looking forward at his target, not worried about his arm in any way.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I think that shock value lends itself a little bit to the scene and to the story.
I get it, because as humans, we need to see that sometimes.
Right,
we need to see that emotion. But to me, I think it's because of the lack of emotion I've seen out of that character this whole time.
Right.
It's even more jarring when it happens, because you see it and you're like, wait.
Why is he shocked?
Yeah,
like,
why is he?
I get what you're saying. But I also see like from a movie standpoint, you have to look at it like, I see why they did it, because it lends itself to the scene. Mm-hmm. And to see that face on him is like, I mean, it's funny yet cool and also interesting.
Yeah.
So, and then also like, you know, at the end when he dies in the molten steel, it lends itself to this. He could just fall in and that be it.
Yeah.
But instead you get this like overreaction of like him turning into different forms and like him essentially dying and knowing that he's dying. Mm-hmm. As a robot, dramatic. He shouldn't feel that way. He should feel like, oh shit, this is the end.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Instead, he acts like a ravenous animal.
Yeah. Who
fell into a pond and can't swim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But anyway, I think that my favorite thing about it is the continuity between the two. Not just in certain little jabs like the Doctor and things like that, but the continuity between the story. They kept it completely linear and even added on to it in an amazing way. Not only are the visuals great in this movie, but the story is as well, and you need both. You absolutely need both, and James Cameron brought that in this for sure. So I'm at a 9 as well. I think it's damn near perfect.
Damn near. Damn near.
Well, I mean, hate to sound
Eric,
like,
what'd you think?
Well, I hate to sound like the piggyback guy, but I mean,
The piggyback guy?
As far as
I'll let you ride me, buddy.
As far as, like the practicals, the CGI, the music, I really enjoyed the fact that they showed the emotions with the Terminator and stuff like that. That made it a little bit more theatrical for me. You know what I mean?
When was the last time you seen this movie?
Oh man, it's probably been 4 or 5 years, maybe.
I think I just watched this movie last year.
Yeah.
Probably last year,
Lord.
the year before.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Yeah, it's probably about 4 or 5 years at least.
This is one of the movies that it's a movie that I can come back to every year or two, and I can rewatch it without any issue.
Yeah.
If like somebody approached like, I've never seen Terminator, like, oh fuck, you gotta watch Terminator.
We're watching it now.
Oh, fuck, you want to watch the first one first, or what? Do you need context?
Do you need context?
The way the stunts were done, like the motorcycle jumping off the bridge, and the way they had the stunt coordinators do all the stunt work on it, I thought was pretty amazing.
I'm telling you, some of the trivia you learn about the stunt work and the things that they did behind the scenes it's worth a read.
I mean, you can definitely tell, they're stunt doubles, but I mean, as far as the stunt work, you could tell it was
like that bike scene.
Yeah.
When he landed, the bike and him combined could be no more than 180 pounds.
Yeah.
So they had to build this special rig so that when they landed, like, he did the jump, but, it had to be like a light landing.
Yeah.
You good over there, man?
I'm trying to do it as quietly as possible.
Glug, 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 glug.
What are you doing?
I want the.
You ain't drinking this out of the fucking thing.
I'm thirsty. I just
Oh
talked
my
for you
God.
for like a half hour.
So bring down water. Everybody else has a drink.
I got ice.
But I'm deprived, so.
You want some alcohol in that ice? Anyway, what's your score?
So, yeah, after saying all of that, I'm going to have to stick with you guys. It's a 9 for me.
Hell yeah. See, Madison don't even know what the fuck she's missing, dude. Giving it a 7.5?
7.5.
Don't forget the 0.5.
8.6.
I'll throw spiders at
What
you.
did you give Terminator?
I don't know.
Because I think she liked Terminator more than she liked this one.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I think you gave Terminator a higher score, and that's what
You guys are keeping
made you
logs
super
on
excited
my
for this one.
opinions.
7.
That's it. Was it 7? Because she was so excited to watch the second one. Maybe we hyped it up for her a bunch.
Sounds like
As
it.
she.
I think for this
Karen,
though, it holds
we
more
better get
nostalgic
Jumanji
value.
Or the Ninja Turtles.
Huh?
Huh?
Oh, Ninja Turtles. We haven't pulled any of the Ninja Turtles yet.
No, and I need
It's really
to.
upsetting and disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't. Because
We
those
should
are,
have the show in there.
or the Kill Bill movies would be awesome.
See, I watched the Ninja
Because
Tur-
those already are 10s. I'm telling you, those are 10s for me.
Ninja Turtles 3 was like the one I drove my family nuts with.
I never
Three of
Three.
all of them.
watched the third
3.
one.
The one where they
Oh,
go back
wow.
in time.
Yeah, I remember whenever it came out because I remember begging my mom to go rent it. I was like, Mom,
Yeah.
we have to rent this movie. It just came out. And I had to see it. And I remember watching it in my bedroom. We lived in Wapak. And it was around the same time that Terminator 2, I was going through that whole obsession.
Yeah.
And and Ninja Turtles 3 came out. And I was like, we have to watch this. I remember watching it. I was like, it was okay. Like, it wasn't near as good as the other two to me.
No, I love the
Yeah.
first one.
And the first one's
second
the
one.
First one was
I
always
think
the
I
best.
watched the third one once and decided I didn't like
Yeah,
it.
the
so I
third one's
never
just like
watched
a
it again.
fun movie, I guess. But
Yeah.
it just wasn't like, it was too campy.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fun as, it wasn't as good.
Well, this is like the same kid. Like back when I was that kid, I was always like in the Three Ninjas movies and all.
Yeah,
that, you
Three
know what I
Ninjas
mean?
came out about that
Yeah,
time too.
so I was
Yeah.
like all into those movies.
Three Ninjas, and then like Surf Ninjas, I think
Yeah,
came
Surf
out around,
Ninja-
along with
Oh.
that was the same year of Hocus
That
Pocus.
needs to be in the box.
Surf Ninjas. Oh my god,
my
I haven't
God.
seen that. I probably haven't seen that movie since it
I
came
used to
out.
have it on VHS.
Oh my god, I remember Three Ninjas was awesome. I wonder how that holds up.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
You know, there's like 6 of those fucking movies.
Yeah,
One of them's got Hulk
and I
Hogan
watched
in it.
all of them.
One of them's got Hulk Hogan. I think the 4th one has Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan in it.
I watched all of them.
Oh, I've never seen all of them. I've seen 1 and 2, I believe. 2 is the one where they go to like Japan or
No, that's
something.
3.
Is that 3? Are you sure?
Yeah, it's like Three Ninjas Kickback or something like that.
That's 2. That's the second one. Three Ninjas Kickback
Kickback
is
is
second.
2. Trust me.
Yeah, trust me. You're
Then
like,
three is probably the one that they go like in like an Indian camp or something like that.
yeah, and then there's one where they go
Reservation.
into an amusement park or something, and
Yeah,
that's the one with Hulk Hogan. And it's just...
Yeah, it goes all over the place.
Hogan, okay.
She's been over here talking this whole time, I think. Saying some weird shit.
What's this?
Anyway,
Well,
let's
then.
let's move on here. We're over limit here.
Over limit? I thought you said we didn't have any limits, Dad.
We don't, but
Uh-huh.
some people would like to go home and get some sleep.
What?
Karen's like, I was sleeping this whole
Yeah.
I was just saying, what?
I slept through the movie and everything.
I'm fine.
All
What
right,
movie?
so Karen, let's get into some. Or wait, no, hold on.
That's you.
We got to do trivia.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. Trotting Tomatoes.
Are you okay over there?
I'm not.
Whoa.
I'm all mixed up today.
Somebody take his
You guys
drink
go
away.
ahead and
He's
give me
had
your
too much.
scores.
My
I already
toes
know
are
what they
cold.
are.
96.
Oh, for the critics?
Mhm.
Fuck you, Karen. 93.
82.
Oh.
84. 84. Trying to get it right on the dot.
All right, what were you guys' scores?
84.
96.
93.
Eric's gonna take this. It's a 91%.
Ha!
What?
91%. Critics' consensus: T2 features thrilling action sequences and eye-popping visual effects, but what takes the sci-fi action landmark to the next level is the depth of the human and cyborg characters.
84.
I'm gonna argue with that.
For audience, I'm gonna stick.
96.
I'm sticking with 93.
93, 96.
84.
Karen's gonna take this. This is 95%. You were 1 point off, man. 95%.
So was he. He was 1 point off like 4
So
seconds ago.
I scrolled and scrolled and
Dude.
scrolled earlier, and I could only find like 3
Bad.
bad reviews. The rest were all like 4s and 5s.
I'm interested to see what those 3 bad reviews have
They
to
were
say.
stupid. They didn't
Oh.
say much.
Okay.
I snapshotted one.
Snapshotted.
I'm glad I didn't do a
screenshotted?
lot with it because we don't have a lot of time anyway. So screenshot. That's what I said. That's what I said. Okay, so I didn't even screen. I took a picture of it, so it was a snapshot. Fuck you. This is actually a 2.5 star. 1 star for what was cutting edge special effects for 1991, and 1.5 stars for Arnold, but everything else was hotkey, whatever that means. I loved this movie as a kid, but not watching it again. The movie in it is, or the kid in it was ridiculously annoying and almost shut it off after hearing him scream for the 20th time. I fucking agree. His scream was annoying.
I thought it was hilarious.
I guess. There are a few good scenes, but a whole lot of nothing in between. Some things don't quite add up for me in terms of the time travel aspects of it, but I'm willing to let it go. The alloy Terminator can take on any shape or person appearance, yet it's the same guy 90% of the time. Come on. I did have a question about that. So I get that, like, so why didn't he just take on the appearance of the cop that he killed in the first place? I mean, I get that it didn't really affect anything in the movie, but like you would think that he would just take on the appearance of that cop so he could just pose as that cop.
Maybe he thought the other one looked better.
I don't have an answer for you.
I don't either. I mean, it was just, it was one of those, it didn't impede on the movie in any way or the plot or anything, so it didn't matter because they were just like, oh, he's just another cop coming on through.
I wonder if it has something, because one thing that did kind of bother me, and I assume that they just have some kind of retro answer at some point in one of the million sequels, but they said in the first one that you have to have some kind of living tissue around the
cyborgs, yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have that with the liquid metal guy, right?
Right.
So I wonder if maybe that's why he had to stay in that same form. Maybe that was his living
like
tissue.
his default form.
Yeah.
Like his default form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that was like his living tissue.
The only
or
problem
something.
that I had with him in the movie was that, so, you know the scene where he's like going through the hospital and he finally finds Sarah and blah, blah, blah. and his gun gets stuck in the bars. So every time he changes form, what about that gun? You know what I mean? Like I understand
That gun shouldn't change forms with him.
exactly.
It didn't. It didn't. You know, it
Well, he changes forms several times.
Yeah.
He changes forms with Sarah. He changes forms with all kinds of different things.
But he didn't always have that gun.
He's had the gun the whole time. He was a cop. He was posed as a cop. And then he just happens to pull that out, and he's like, oh.
He stole that gun from the one guy,
What guy?
the security guard, the one that he stabbed in the face.
Tell me he didn't have a gun before that?
Oh, I don't know. That was just the only time I saw him with a gun.
So the only explanation that I'll accept for this is that whenever he does change forms...
Well, no, he literally said that he couldn't.
But-
He couldn't do that because he said that anything that had chemicals or
No, listen, hold on. What I'm saying is, like, if he does change forms and he has the gun on him, is that he just puts the gun inside of him. You know what I mean? Like, it's inside of his...
Right, I gotcha.
Inside of his body or something like that.
Where did he get the MP5 from when he was in the helicopter?
It was probably in there.
In the helicopter?
Why would they have an MP5 in the helicopter?
It was a police helicopter.
I get that, but why would they have an MP5?
That was a
What other
reconnaissance.
explanation do you have?
It was a reconnaissance helicopter. I mean,
But what other explanation do you have? I don't know. There was a
He could have
SWAT.
picked it up at any point. To be
But I'm
honest.
saying
yeah,
that,
but
like,
the way
there was
he
a whole
got
SWAT
into the
situation.
helicopter, he had.
But this is another one I'm
form.
saying. Like he like what's to stop him from putting weapons inside of his liquid form?
But this is a whole SWAT situation.
I get that.
So,
Well,
like-
I'm on your side with this.
Yeah.
So, like I said before, like the only thing that I'll accept is that whenever he changes forms, if he, like whenever he changes into say the step or the foster mom, like he might have had a gun on him, but whenever he changed forms, maybe he like absorbs that gun into his body, not like in liquid form, but like it just kind of stays inside of him, and you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
stays
I
inside of
get
him,
what
like
you're
you know what I mean?
saying,
Like
yeah.
kind of like that. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I would think.
He shoves it up his butt.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially.
But yeah, no, like it's a SWAT thing. So like I assume that they're telling pretty much anybody that's on scene to like, get as much as they can.
You can
possible.
argue any
I don't
point
know.
of it, I guess. He is
Yeah.
liquid metal. He can literally, whatever, But whatever. Anyway, let's get into some of that goddamn sweet ass trivia.
Yeah, I'll try to be really quick.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
We're going as long as the movie is.
Yeah. So you were asking about this, and I was pretty sure I put it in here. So the effect of the T-1000 freezing and breaking up was achieved by filming shots of an amputee fitted with prosthetic and Robert Patrick with his real limbs buried underneath the set. Clever editing makes the effect appear almost seamless.
I agree.
They also used like tinsel, like Christmas tinsel, for the like freezing look, and then like a sort of silver glue spray it wasn't gonna
I mean,
be
honestly,
harmful to
that
him.
looks fine. I didn't really care much about that. Like that in no way
Witness
bothered me.
me.
Yeah.
However they did that, I'm sure it was a simple thing to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
It was the liquid metal frozen arm
Mhm.
and it breaking up, and the breaking effect of like his limbs
Mhm.
was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of cool how they transitioned from that tinsel, like, because
And-
you can kind of
well,
see that.
in the sound
and then, like,
effects
brought
in
it-
this movie
yeah.
lend itself so well to like the sound effects of his breaking limbs sound awesome. A lot of the shooting, like the gunfire, that type of like sound in gunfire, you don't hear it like pew 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 pew. Like it doesn't sound like a laser. It sounds like a gun, but it's like I want to say not even a silence gun, but like a louder silence gun, I guess almost. It sounds so fucking cool that like
Ray gun.
it always stood out to me the way whenever they fire their guns and the way they
The
sound.
ray gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like unlike in most other movies, they sound like little small explosions, like pow pow pow. Like where this one is like it's like I don't know. It's such a cool sound effect that they use for the gunfire.
Yeah.
It's just it sounds good and I love it. And like the part where especially in the beginning, whenever the T-1000 and the Terminator first meet up, and he protects John for the first time, and he turns around and he takes all them bullets to the back.
Mhm.
That sound effect is so fucking cool
Yeah.
too. Or like whenever he's putting him in the walls, and the sound effects in this movie are fucking top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Robert Patrick and him training. He actually trained so hard and he could run so fast that he could catch up to Edward Furlong on that dirt bike. With,
Really?
like, no problem at all. For the Los Angeles River sequence, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in pain most of the time because he could not wear a glove, which would get stuck in the gun mechanism. He tore the skin from his fingers and had many times before he had mastered it, and he frequently hit Edward Furlong with the gun while doing it.
Yeah.
One time,
I heard about that.
almost knocking the young actor out.
Yeah. You notice whenever he puts it away, as he's sitting on the front of the bike with him, he actually hits Edward Furlong a little bit in the head.
Yeah.
And Edward Furlong just kind of like takes it and keeps looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like he'd been hit in the head several times already. Like, he's just getting used to it.
We've been through this.
We've been through this.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's all
Arnie.
right, buddy.
He had to achieve all this while trying to act and control a Harley at the same time as James Cameron told him where to look. He could not dart his eyes either because it would have ruined the shot. Shooting the gates also took weeks to practice because he had to act cool while doing it.
I was wondering, like,
Was
even
that-
as a robot, like, how easy is it to shoot the chains off of a fence gate? You know what I mean?
Right. Special effects.
He does make riding a Harley look really fucking awesome.
Right.
I own a Harley. I ride a bike, and I know I don't look that cool riding it. I know I don't.
Special effects guru Stan Winston and his crew studied hours of nuclear test footage in order to make Sarah Connor's nuclear nightmare scene look as realistic as possible. A miniature Los Angeles was made to simulate the scene. Some of the materials used in the miniature that mimicked all the destroyed masonry were matzos, crackers, and shredded wheat. After each take, it would take on average on 2 days to set the model up to shoot again. In late 1991, members of several U.S. federal nuclear testing labs unofficially declared it the most accurate depiction of a nuclear blast ever created for a fictional motion picture. The special effects team members have stated several times that no scene they've worked on since has received an equivalent amount of praise or emotional feedback from viewers. There was concern as to how realistic...
I'll agree. Like, that fucking scene is... There's a few scenes in this movie that 100% stand out as, like, just top tier fucking, not only directing, but, like, practical effects, cinematography, sound effects, music, everything. And the like I said, like the T-1000 freezing, the gunfire, all those things. But the nuclear explosion, to me, like, I remember as a kid, it just terrified the shit out of me because that looks so real and it looks so realistic. Like, that could happen. Like, the way it was shot and everything. Like, even the as it come down, the burning light and everybody just starts burning, and then like the explosion happening and blowing everything away. It was insane. And it's not computer at all. Like, it's practical effects. It's crazy and it looks good.
Yeah, it does. There was concern as to how realistic CGI would look when it came to the helicopter going under the bridge. So the pilot just did it for real.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Yeah, they did it for real. I was like, how? Like, cause like, okay, so I know they used the helicopter,
and he had to do it twice.
Yeah, so he did it, and I know that it lifts, like the wind lifts and it holds it up. But as he's going under, you would think that it would create some sort of like momentum under that bridge that could be ultimately just fucking
very dangerous.
Yeah, extremely dangerous, because if
turbulence.
You watch the scene and you're like, oh my god, that is a tight squeeze. So for that to work is, oh my god,
and he did it twice.
Oh my god,
because they had to
give that guy a fucking trophy.
Yeah, they had to do shots from behind and shots from the front.
Give that guy a trophy, man.
Michael Biehn was the first choice for the role of the T-1000, and a complete reversal of roles with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is now a hero. However, this idea was abandoned as it was judged too confusing for the viewers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
A female passerby wandered onto the biker bar set thinking it was real, despite walking past all the location trucks, cameras, and lights. Seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger standing in the bar dressed only in boxer shorts, she finally asked what was going on, only for Schwarzenegger to reply that it was a male stripper night.
It's so funny because in the third one,
whether it was a coincidence or not, in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, the Terminator, played again by Schwarzenegger, actually steps into a bar during male stripper night.
Yep. And that's when he goes in and he goes, talk to the hand. He's like, give me all your clothes, because it's supposed to be I think more of a parody of the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And in the third one, he walks in and even puts on the sunglasses. But
I wonder if they did
but
that.
they're like sparkly,
Yeah.
like star-shaped sunglasses.
Like, it can't be a coincidence. They had to, like, remember that or something and did that because Arnold,
Yeah, they
you know
had
what I mean?
to.
They had,
yeah.
it couldn't be
because he walked
coincidence.
into a gay stripper bar, and like this guy's up there. He's like, it's stupid. I actually, whenever I first saw the third one, I actually hated that scene. I was like, you're just making fun of the second movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I didn't care for it. It was almost like it was trying to parody itself, and I
Mhm.
was like, that's not cool.
An alternate ending was filmed, which showed an elderly Sarah sitting at the park telling the story about the Terminator, watching John playing with his daughter, and tying her granddaughter's shoes. It also showed John Connor working as a congressman. James Cameron fought with Mario Casar over the ending. Cameron wanted to end the film with the alternate coda ending that showed the older Sarah in the future. But Casar wanted to end the film in another way, as a measure for possible sequels, and demanded a test screening.
They filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they filmed her
Yeah.
as old Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, I said there was an alternate ending that was filmed. Cameron eventually relented when test audiences and Casar himself reacted negatively over the coda ending, commenting that it was way too positive compared to the bleak and dark tone of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, so they filmed it. So it's her at the park, like that you would have seen in the nuclear explosion scene. Only instead, it was her sitting on a bench watching John play with his, I believe,
granddaughter.
It
It was his daughter, and then she's
and they were
tying
they were at the
granddaughter's
park.
shoes.
They were all at the park together.
Yep.
So I remember that scene because you can actually look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I get why they didn't want it in there. But at the same time, it also solidifies the fact that these two are the only two that could be canon in that world.
I think that was the reason he wanted that ending, but he chose the more ambiguous existing ending, arguing that it didn't let the audience off the hook so easily, and implying that the struggle for the future is an ongoing one. The idea to destroy...
I kind of like that idea, though, too.
Yeah. The idea to destroy the Cyberdyne Systems building to prevent the future war was in the first Terminator movie, but it was cut from the final release. Director James Cameron said it was lucky that he chose to cut that scene as it formed the nucleus of Terminator 2. Given Arnold Schwarzenegger's US $15 million salary and his total of 700 words of dialogue, he was paid $21,429 per word. So, hasta la vista, baby.
Fuck you, Arnold. Fuck you, man.
Hasta la vista, baby costs $85,716.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm over here. Dude, what was that for Hasta la Vista? What was that?
$85,716.
$85,000. Dude, that's my yearly salary. You just made what I make in a year in 3 weird fucking words.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Fuck you. Fuck you, man.
One of the main percussive
I
sounds
fucking hate actors, man.
of Brad Fiddel's score, the metallic beats of the Terminator theme, is not created by a synthesizer or taken from archives of recorded sounds. It is Fido striking one of his cast iron frying pans.
I'm still on the Hasta la Vista thing, man. I'm sorry. Fuck you, Arnold. Fuck you, man. Where's that button at? Where's the button at?
Put that cookie down!
Yeah. Put the cookie down, man. Fucking cocksucker.
Local residents in Lakeview Terrace held a protest outside the medical center when it was dressed up to be the Pescadero State Hospital for the criminally insane. They quickly realized it was in fact only a film set. For the sound of a T-1000 passing through metal bars, sound designer Gary Rydstrom simply inverted an open can of dog food and recorded the close-packed food as it oozed slowly out. He jokingly stated that they spent $6 million on special effects and I only spent 35 cents on a can of dog food. When transforming and flowing like mercury,
Doesn't that make you feel even worse?
the metallic sound
Fucking bullshit.
the metallic sound was the spraying of dust off into a mixture of flour and water, with a condom-sealed microphone submerged into the goo. For the sound of bullets striking the T-1000, an inverted glass was slammed into a container of yogurt, creating a combo sound of hard edge and
It's such a
goop.
fucking goopy sound. Like it's like doop doop doop. It's like bloop 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 bloop. It's so weird. It's like whenever he gets shot, it's such an awkward sound. It's so funny.
But yet they got paid thousands and thousands of dollars to make just throw yogurt at a pane glass.
Yeah, throw yogurt at a plane and like.
Working with notoriously perfectionist James Cameron, he was so hard on many crew members that they started wearing shirts saying Terminator 3, not with me.
Not with me.
Denzel Washington turned down the role of Miles Bennett Dawson. No offense to Jim Cameron, but when I read the script, I thought all he does is look scared and sweat. I had to pass.
I don't blame him.
Nope.
I don't blame him. It's a very I mean, I would say it's a minor role, but it's under Denzel's.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean, like
yeah.
his ability, his talents. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. So I understand.
This was another continuity thing from the first one. So in the first film, William Wisher, which was one of the writers, portrays a police officer who witnesses the T-800 being thrown from Kyle Reese's car after he and Sarah escape Tech Noir. He is then attacked by the T-800 and has his car stolen. In this film, Wisher appears in the mall following the battle between the T-800 and the T-1000. After the T-800 is thrown through a store window, Wisher can be seen photographing him as he is climbing to his feet.
I think I've heard this story before.
And his facial expression shows that he recognizes the T-800, not knowing that this is a different machine.
I think I've heard that before.
James Cameron confirmed that this is the same character as the police officer in the first film.
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing that guy that carjacked
the
you
same guy.
like 10 years ago and you're like,
fuck that guy. Yeah,
like,
right.
Fuck
that guy's like, where was that mental
And that went in
hospital
through-
at?
Just like killed everybody in your police department.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I like that they bring that back though, and they even show images of Arnold walking through the police station killing people, and they're like, "This is the same guy. He was spotted at the mall, or whatever." And I like that they side by side images, same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild. I liked it.
Different hairstyle.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
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 We did digital willy removal in this shot, says James Cameron, when a naked Robert Patrick shows up.
Bullshit. I saw that Willie, dude. I saw that fucking Willie. Or not Chris, Madison, or no, Crystal was down there too. I was like, dude, I was like, they went full dong on him. Did you see it?
The director notes.
I did.
The effect
I
wasn't
didn't pay
complete.
attention.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm glad you were looking.
I just caught it, dude. I was like, holy shit, I saw his dong.
And Patrick's...
He's like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah. The director notes the effect.
That's the perfect meme for it too. That's exactly what I was like. Whoa.
Dong.
Robert Patrick's dong. Like there it is.
Dong. I sing dong.
What was the part where he like bent down and like did this with the thing, and I was like, his dong is like between his legs. Like I could just see it laying there. I was like, dude, dong. Like this is an X-rated movie. Like
X-rated. The director notes the effect wasn't complete, and Patrick's rise of the machines could somewhat be seen on the home video format of the film. Cameron notes he wants his willy removal money back since the job didn't get done.
It didn't get done because I saw that D.
He's
And
loud and proud.
Yeah,
about
let me put it
too.
like this: Robert Patrick should not be shy.
During the opening battle sequence, there's a quick shot of a soldier running with a weapon that appears to be the smart gun used by Vasquez and Drake in director James Cameron's previous movies, Aliens. The actress who plays Vasquez, Jeanette Goldstein, appears in this movie as John's foster mother. When James Cameron asked Edward Furlong during the audition for John Connor if he'd ever done any acting, the young actor replied that he'd appeared in many home movies his father had shot. It's theorized that the following installments of the franchise, Terminator 3...
Hold on a minute here. What kind of home movies?
That's all he said.
That's not weird at all.
He was 3 when his dad died.
Oh, okay.
So, I assume it was sort of like
that's
a
right.
joke.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Okay.
I
was gonna say, hold on. What kind of dad did he have here? And then, yeah, that's right. He did die whenever he was 3.
Yeah.
So
That's why I was getting thrown. I was like, wait a second, his dad died. Wait.
so I understand it's more endearing than anything. Yeah.
Anyway, all the movies that came after this, and TV shows, everything, blah, 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 are non-canon and all take place in multiple alternate timelines created as consequences of Miles Dawson blowing up the Cyberdyne building. Since the people feel as canon the Terminator in this movie, however, Terminator Dark Fate is a direct sequel to Terminator 2, which takes place 24 years after the events of the second film. Very interesting, a fan short film, Skynet, solved the trouble of the plot holes in the sequels.
I've never heard of Skynet.
Neither have
I don't know
I.
what that is. But also, Dark Fate sucks dick.
Never seen it.
Sucks
was-
Robert Patrick's dick.
Skynet
As a fan, I would just say these first two are canon.
Skynet
That's
was
it.
the
Yeah.
company in the movie.
Yeah, I know
No,
that.
there
but,
was a
like,
fan film
there's
called
a fan film
Skynet.
called Skynet.
Oh.
And
Also, they also had a series called the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, that's what was included on here. That's not canon either.
Yeah, right. I understand that. Not a bad show though.
Yeah.
Not a bad show.
And lastly, I thought you guys would all love this. Steven Seagal was under early consideration for the T-1000 role.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
And that is it.
I couldn't do it. If this movie would have failed if he was the T-1000.
I just thought you guys would like to hear that.
No, I don't want to hear that. Fuck Steven Seagal. Ninja Star. Sorry, it's
Could you imagine?
Bob and Tom reference.
Yeah, that would not work out at all, I feel like.
It wouldn't at all.
I think Arnold and Steven Seagal would just constantly butt heads.
Oh, Arnold would fucking body slam his
Yeah.
ass, dude. I don't think Arnold would like Steven Seagal. I don't think that I don't know that they've ever met, but I don't think they get along at all.
What are you saying? Can you speak up? Quit whispering.
Quit whispering. I will choke you. Oh my God, dude. Fuck off. Steven Seagal gets on my nerves, dude. I remember back in the day, his movies used to be kind of cool, but like watching him do all these like movements and like he talk like this and stuff, but like it's just now watching him, like I want to punch that guy in the face.
His whispering always annoyed me.
Yeah, it's just
always.
Yeah. Fuck
Speak
Steve.
up,
He got
dude.
too full of himself.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. And then he got too full, period, because he got really plump.
Obese.
They even asked the question like who would win in a fight between Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme. And they've sparred apparently before. And they said Jean-Claude Van Damme, 100%, because Jean-Claude Van Damme is an actual martial artist. He does physical contact. Whereas Steven Seagal more or less just tosses people around. And he's more
Steven
defensive.
Seagal does was it a keto?
Something like that. Yeah, it's some weird martial art that like essentially it's
like
more defensive.
judo with
it's like judo with tossing moves and
Yeah.
like he can like maneuver your hands to where he does this and that and then he like takes you and flips you and use your own body and momentum against yourself and that, but he doesn't physically hurt you.
Mhm.
It's more defensive. Whereas Jean-Claude Van Damme knows where to strike, when to strike, and he's more physical.
Yeah.
And it's more of an offensive fighting style.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
and he's quicker. And let's face it, Jean-Claude Van Damme's not a fat ass. Like, what's his face? Steven Seagal. Anyway, Eric.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
He's been waiting patiently.
I have too. Be something good.
We don't put anything bad in there.
That's true.
Earth girls are easy.
You say we don't put anything bad in there. Like, Earth girls are easy.
That's not bad.
For some people.
Oh, that's so cheesy.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh,
You've never
it's
seen
the-
Earth Girls
oh,
Are
man,
Easy?
It's
Oh.
like the cheesiest thing.
This is
ever.
like one of Jim Carrey's earliest movies.
Oh,
He's not
yeah.
even the main character.
No.
And the funny thing is, Kendra's seen it and I haven't.
Ooh.
Really? Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a comedy from the 80s about three
was this
aliens.
where him and Gina Davis met, or was it Transylvania whatever it was? I think it was Transylvania.
What?
Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum. I think they met on Transylvania.
I don't know. I know that this movie is before The Fly, though.
Yeah, it is. But I
So-
think they met on the set of Transylvania, not this one.
Maybe. Yeah, because they've done a few movies together.
This one, Transylvania, and The Fly.
This is I don't even know how to describe this movie. It's a comedy, but it's also like
It is so over the top.
it's very over the top.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a girl
No
who is
lip lock
unlucky
for
in
whip lock?
love finds love with an alien.
A hairy alien, but then they like shave him.
She gives him a makeover.
Yeah, she shaves him and gives him makeovers, and they just look like normal, regular human people.
Yeah. Was it the one?
Because she's a hairstylist.
Damon Wayans is
Damon Wayans
is one of them. Then
yeah,
there's Jeff
Jim
Goldblum.
Carrey and Jeff Goldblum.
And Jim Carrey's like the surfer guy. I remember him being like
Yeah.
a surfer guy.
He's definitely the more
Dumb.
dumb. He's definitely the dumber. Well, I don't know. Him and Damon Williams are
Yeah, they're both
dumb.
pretty dumb. Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum's character is like the leader.
Yeah.
And then Gina Davis is the one. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
I just watched it like last year, the year before, because I think Jeremiah had never seen it. And I was like, let's watch
Yeah,
this.
but I know Madison's never seen this movie, so it'll be interesting.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh man, it's
Every time I see it, I'm like, I just look at it, I'm like, man, I really don't know.
Well, I'm kind of glad that we
just-
pulled this movie for the one simple reason. We do a lot, like here lately, we've done a lot of higher budget, bigger name movies. It's nice, it's refreshing to pull out an older, lesser known movie that people don't know a lot about.
that actually have really big named actors.
Right, exactly, like some of their earlier stuff.
It's a special time in Hollywood when they could get away with making movies like this, just because they were. I mean, this is not a good movie by any.
I mean,
like
depends
to
on
me,
how you look at it.
To me, I think it's great.
Yeah,
But I'm saying, like, you know, if
it's
they
a
were,
fun movie.
Yeah, it's
is
a fun movie, but like they wouldn't have made this today.
Kind of like how Howard the Duck is a fun movie. This one's more. I would say that this one's funnier though than Howard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
This was more of a comedy, I guess.
Yeah, I think
like
the
Howard the Duck is
humor-
funny and it's supposed to be a comedy, but Howard the Duck is also got its serious moments and it's a little bit darker, I guess. Whereas this is
and
more
this
of
one's
a
weird too. It's got like weird musical moments, like where they start singing and shit, and it's like, where'd this come
They
from?
do, yeah, they do. They do.
Like,
I forgot about that.
It's totally out of nowhere. You're
Mhm.
like, why are they singing
For no reason.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It's I'll be
Enjoy.
more interested in what Madison thinks of it
Mhm.
more than anything.
Mhm.
Because this is one of the movies that I've always been like, it's a good movie, but I've always been kind of on the fence with. I'm like,
Oh, I like it's
I'm
totally
glad
up my alley.
we're gonna revisit this one because it'll be an interesting one. Now that we've went 2 hours and almost 40 minutes.
Sorry
I don't know.
again.
This might be one of the longer fucking. Our podcasts are getting long.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the movie, really.
If there's a lot to talk about, yeah.
It
Anyway.
really just depends on the summaries that you give us to read.
And how slow they read them.
I wasn't even reading that slow. Y'all just kept interrupting and talking and talking.
Because
and
that's the
talking and
point.
talking. Well, then don't complain.
I'm not. You are.
Let's not fight. I hate it when mom and dad fight.
I'm not your mom.
I know.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? No! I'm surrounded by assholes.
All right.
ends
Anyway,
that.
I love you though.
check us out next week. We're gonna do Earth Girls Are Easy. Check if you haven't seen that movie, just watch it. Come back, check us out on the podcast because I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about that one.
Don't say we didn't warn you that it's not what you're going to
PC.
expect to see.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're expecting, but it's not going to be what you're expecting.
it's not raunchy. I wouldn't call it raunchy.
No. I
There's
wouldn't say it's
no.
raunchy.
I mean, I would say that there's sexual content, but not like explicit sexual content. Like it's not. There's no nudity or anything crazy.
yeah,
like
I don't
that.
remember there being anything explicit.
But more or less, it's sexual situations, I suppose you could say. But
Hints.
nothing super visual. It's not. I wouldn't say it's exactly family friendly, but it's also like
The rating is what it's rated.
you could watch it, yeah, with teenagers and things like that. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, come back, check us out next week. Don't forget to check out our X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff.
Our
And
socials.
I still feel like I'm talking to myself in Discord, Karen.
I have been.
I've
You
talked
said-
a little bit.
No, you haven't said a word,
I
son.
have. I've said a word.
I haven't talked about stuff that I don't know about, like the gaming stuff. I talked about the stuff that I
I
knew
want
about.
more. Okay, so I don't care about them.
Oh.
I want you guys to come in and talk to me.
See,
Since
we
they
see- we
won't.
see
He
where
says
we
my
play.
name, calls me out, and then says he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Don't worry about them. Come talk to me. All right. Let's get in that Discord and talk a little bit. Okay. Let's talk about the trailers that are coming out that I keep posting. That I feel like I'm just.
I
Like,
did answer the
I
trailers.
award you
yeah,
no
well-
points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Why did I give you the power of the voice?
Fuck your own face!
I can't argue with that. Anyway, jump in there and talk to me. I post all the newest trailers. I guarantee you, if it's been out for at least a couple of hours, it's in there. Because I'm always on YouTube scrolling for trailers. I can pinpoint, like Cody even messaged. She was over here over the weekend. She goes, "Did you see the trailer for Beetlejuice 2?" I was like, "It's fake. I guarantee it." She goes, "No, it sounds like Cody. If there's a trailer for Beetlejuice 2, I already know about it." I was like, "There's no trailer for Beetlejuice 2." She showed it to me. I was like, "It's a fucking fake." Like they're using footage from the old movies and then like from the old movie and then other shit. I was like,
someone
it's a fake.
did that with like a Frozen movie or something.
They've done it with all
called
kinds
out
of movies.
immediately. It was like,
And
that's
then
fake.
and then she said, "Did you see the trailer for this other movie?" That I was like, "It's a Mortal Kombat 2." I said, "It's a fake." I was like, "Cody, Mortal Kombat 2. You think that if they came out with a trailer for the fucking movie, I wouldn't know about it?"
Right.
You know what I mean? So she like showed it. It's like, "That's also a fake, dude." Like, she's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Cody, dude, come on." Like, who are you talking to here? I'm not just some schmuck off the street, all right?
Some schmuck off the street. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm real.
I'm just
Believe
saying.
me.
So I had to shoot down. I was like, I'm sorry to make you upset and make you disappointed that these aren't the real trailers, but they're not the real trailers. I'm sorry.
You have to
Okay,
wait
when you
a
have
little
to blow somebody's wind out of their
I know. I
sails.
had to blow your candle out. I'm sorry, man. But it happens. So anyway, next week, let's watch Earth Girls Are Easy, because they are.
What other girls do you know?
I don't.
What other planet?
None.
Apparently,
Yeah,
he's-
like...
No, or he's just disappointed that he can't get none on that planet, so he's not telling us about it.
Jupiter girls are, like, stuck up, so...
Stuck up.
What about the Saturn chicks?
What Saturn chicks? They're all dudes.
Why did I know he was gonna say that to me?
No, you're thinking Uranus.
God
All
damn it.
right.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you guys next week, and stay away from Uranus.
Bye.
Bye.